Hey, what's up, YouTube? I was getting ready to do something, but I've had an issue right here. So let me see if I can get it to come back in now. For some reason, I've had some technical difficulties the past couple of days on YouTube or on my stream key and everything else. So anyway, let's see if this gets here. Okay, so we kind of we might be up and running now. So this is what I want to go over with you. I've been looking and trying to follow along with Andrew's lay strategy. So I have printed out some notes, and what I was going to do was test this lay strategy out. You know, try to find me a way to be able to continue to play at the table and not lose a great deal of money on randies and on waiting your turn, or even sometime on your own throws. So give me just a second. All right, so here we go. I think I've got these numbers right, and I've asked for feedback to ask do I have these numbers right or wrong. So if I have these numbers right, I'm going to read off what I got, and if I have them wrong, I'll find out in a few hours maybe, or maybe later today. But I've got some notes, and this right here is a lay strategy, and you have what I wrote out was 5 levels of it. So the way he presented it, he said lay 3 numbers instead of all 6 box numbers, and do it in $30 increments, and lay like sister numbers. So you would use either the 4 or 10, either the 5 or 9, or either the 6 of 8. So one of each one of those sister sets. So 3 lay bets. So and the levels I got wrote out is a $30 lay bets, and here they are. So on level 1, that's putting 3 $30 lay bets out. You would only need a $100 bankroll. The $100, you would ante up 3 $30 lay bets, and you're hoping for no knockoffs. So none of your lay bets get knocked off, and the 7 comes, and what you would collect would be a $57 profit, because you would get a $15 for your 4 or 10, minus $1 for the VIG, so that'd be 14. You'd get $20 for your 5 or 9 minus the dollar VIG, which would be net at 19. And then on the 6 or 8, you would net 25 minus $1 VIG, which is 24. So if you add 14, 19, 24 together, you get 57. Level 2 would be to where you did the same initial layouts with the 3 $30 lays, but you can take one knockoff. If you take one knockoff, you have to replace that knockoff with a $48 bet, and then up the other 2 lays to 48 also, which would be another, you'd ante up $84 more. So your initial 90 and a new 84, and then the 7 comes, you would net 62 total profit. Level 3 is when you get 2 knockoffs. So the first initial ante would be 90. The second after the first knockoff, you'd have to ante up 84. And on the second knockoff, you would have to re-ante up 120, because you would have to replace the 48 plus add 24 on the one that got knocked off. So that'd be a $72 replace, and then you'd carry the other 2 bets up to 24 more each, which would be 72 plus 48, which is 120 ante. So that's why you would need a $300 bankroll at level 3. So your initial ante would be 90, and then the first knockoff you'd have to re-ante for $84 more, and then on the second knockoff you'd have to put another 120 up. So and then the 7 comes, then you're going to total profit. You'll get everything back that you've anteed up, except for the 2 knockoffs, but that comes out of your profits, so you would still profit $78. We go over to level 4. It follows the same path all the way up to when you knock off the 3rd time, and on this one you would have to replace that knockoff lay with $108, and then add 36 to the other 2 for a total of a new $180 ante. And so on this bankroll, on level 4, you need a bankroll of 500, because here it is. The first ante for three lays for $30 each, that's 90. One knockoff, we've done talked about this, you ante up 84. On the second knockoff, you have to re-ante up for 120, and on the third knockoff, I just told you, you ante up to 180. So the $500 bankroll covers that level, because once the 7 comes in, you're going to get back everything plus a total profit, subtracting the VIGs and subtracting the knockoffs. You still make $117. All right, I went and wrote out one more level, and it needs an $800 bankroll because you follow along. Level 1 is no knockoffs. That's the $90 ante. With one knockoff, that moves you to level 2, which is re-anteing for 84 more. 2 knockoffs moves you to level 3, which is anteing 120 more. Knockoff number 3 moves you to level 4, which is anteing 180 more. And then if you knock off your 4th time, now you're moving to level 5, which you have to re-ante up. You have to replace the knockoff lay bet with 162, and then you have to add 54 per other 2 lays. So that's another 108 plus the 162. So that's an additional 270 you need to put on the board. Now at this point in time, when the 7 comes, if the 7 comes after this ante up, you will still make a profit, getting all your money back, minus your VIGs, minus your knockoffs. You will still have a $189 profit. Now, here's the issue with this. This could get quite expensive, but somewhere down the road, you're gonna make the money on it. Now, you might just have to have a big enough bankroll to go through. Say, if I kept writing this out, level 5 needed an $800 bankroll. If I kept writing this out, level 6, level 7, level 8, level 9, you're going to eventually get to a level where the 7's coming. You're going to get all your money back, and you're going to make a profit by doing this. But the thing is, do you have enough bankroll to withstand a few knockoffs? Now, what I seen last Saturday night at the casino, I could have made money within the first 20 or 30 minutes. On this strategy, I could have probably made $300 to $500 in the first 2 or 3 rollers, and I could have been, or not 2 or 3 rollers, but the first hour I probably could have made anywhere from $300 to $500 and been out the door. So chances are you won't make it all the way to level 5 before the 7 comes, but it's possible that you do. Now, I've asked, do I have this written out right? I think I do, and what I'm going to do now is move over to the table, and I'm going to practice it with a few rows, and I'm not going to set the dice. I'm just going to practice it as a random throw. All right, so let's go over here. I have to let me get right here, and I've got to get in this chat box and refresh. Okay, now I've refreshed that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm just doing a testing to make sure my chat's coming up. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm good on that end. My video looks good. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got the notes written out, and if I've got it written out correctly, I will take my sheet and I will make my notes smaller on a smaller card, so I'll have all this stuff until I get used to it. But this is at the $30 level. Now you can also use a $60 level, but I don't have that written out right now. So what you want to do on this is you're going to pick 3 numbers. $30 lays, $30 lays, 3 $30 lays, and don't worry about the point. Don't even worry about it. You're going to tell the dealer your bets are always working. Your lay bets, I guess, are always working. You pick the 4 or the 10, you pick the 5 or the 9, and you pick the 6 or 8. For video purposes, I'm just going to use the 3 on the left, but you can pick those whatever kind of way you want. If you're doing a tracking and you're watching, you might take your lay off the 4 and go to the 10. You might use the 9 instead of the 5. You know, those are things that you have to decide which lay bets to use. All right, so this is the way he said do it. If a lay gets knocked off, just go ahead and go ahead and re-up, but lay the sister number. So for instance, if the 4 gets knocked off, I don't relay the 4, I move it to the 10. Same way with the 5. If it gets knocked off, I move it to the 9. If I started out with the 9 and it got knocked off, then I'd buy the lay back up, but I'd put it on the 5. So these are lay bets. There's no point established, and we're just wanting to test this to see how it works, because, you know, like I said, with an $800 bankroll, which I've got 1,000 right here. I've got a $1,000 bankroll, so this bankroll should carry me over through 5 levels. If I get a 7 before I get 5 knockoffs, I'm going to make a profit. So, you know, that's basically what you're trying to do. Is, you know, if you wanted to start this low, you know, you would stay with level 1 or 2. So you could stay with 100 or 200 or even 300 at level 3. But I went ahead and got a $1,000 bankroll so I could go all the way to level 5 if needed. That is generally not going to be needed on random shooters. From the experience that I've seen at the table, a random shooter generally is not fixing to knock your lay bets off 5 times. And chances are you're going to hit some of these on come out 7, so that's pretty much going to be like a straight level 1 $57 profit. And if you can get 2 or 3 of them, you're going to be up within $100, $200 soon. So okay, so here we go. Let's test this out. So the puck's off because we don't have a point, but we're telling the dealer lay the 4, 5, and 6, and we're keeping the lay bets on always. They're never coming down. So here we go. Let's get 2 dice. Let's get those 2 right there. And I'm not going to go to the back end of the, there's no need in it. This is just a random roll. Well, I'll go to the back of the table. All right, so here we go. I'm not setting no dice, and I'm not doing no kind of swings. I'm just picking the dice up, doing, you know, what you see at the table. You see people doing all kind of stuff. They shake them. They blow on them. They throw them underhanded. They throw them overhanded. They stack them. They roll them around. They shoot them up against the wall for 2 or 3 times till they see what they like. Then they pick them up and swing them. You see all type of stuff. So I'm just going to do anything and throw them. All right, so we got a 6-6 hardway 12. That was a 12. I knocked it over. Moved too fast. 6-6 hardway 12. No harm, no foul. Okay? That didn't bother nothing. So if the pass line got caught, whoever's rolling just now lost on the pass line. All right, here we go. They pass the dice back to the roller. Boom, throw. All right, we got a 3-6-9. All right, if you look at our board, we have no money on the 9. So no knockoff right there. Point goes to 9. Puck's on. Our lay bets are still working. Here we go. Dice are out. Dealer passes them to the guy. He shoots them. Boom. 3-6-9, right back. Okay, there we go. 3-6-9, 3-6-9. Boom. Pass line got paid. No harm, no foul. This has not hurt us yet. We're still working lays. They're on the come out. So, guy gets them. He picks them up. He shuffles them around on the back wall. He selects what he sees. He throws them. AC-doocy. No harm, no foul. This does not affect our lays. We have not got hit yet. So he gets them back. He gets them back. He throws them up against the back wall. He likes what he sees. He picks them up and slings them. 6-5 yo. All right. No harm, no foul. This has not hurt us yet. 6-5 yo. That's a frontline winner. So he gets them back. He's still on the come out. He's still on the come out. He likes what he sees right there. He slings them. 2-3-5. All right, here we go. Now our 2-3-5. Okay, so our point is a 5. Boom. Our lay got knocked off. There went 30. All right, so we have to re-up this 30 immediately. You have to be ready for this. As soon as it gets knocked off, you give the dealer $84. You give the dealer 84, which is right there is 85, and you tell him, put me a $48 on the 9. So the dealer, you know, you just throw him the 84. He's responsible for making all this change. So you tell him you want $48 on the 9. So let's do it this way. He'll give you back $1 because you put an 84 up. You want 48. There's 45. You want a $48 9 lay. And you're going to add 18 to each. So that's 30. That's 18, 18. That's 36. And 48. That's 84. So we got to add 18 and 18. Now, like I said, this is the dealer's responsibility. He'll handle this quickly before he passes the dice back out. So now you have 3 lays. All right, you have a 4, 6, and 9. All this money's gone. Don't worry about this. The dealer will handle all that. He give you back your dollar, so you've got your 84. All right, next row. All right, so all the bets is in. The dice are out. The guy picks the dice up. His points are 5. He throws. 6, 2, 8. All right, we have no money on the lay. On the 8, we've got it on the 6, so we dodged a bullet. We dodged the lay there. All right, he gets them again. He gets them again. He throws them into the back wall until he's satisfied with what he sees. Then he throws them. 2, 5, 7. All right, there it is. 2, 5, 7. This is generally what you see with random rollers. And a lot of times, a random roller don't go near that long. I had several throws on random roller, and that was what, 7, 8 throws? And I know some of them was AC-doocy, some of them was 11, some of them was 12s, and was on the come-outs. But a lot of random shooters never make it 7 rows. But with all that rolling, we only got 1 lay that got knocked off. So check it out. 5, 2, 7. We get paid now. All right, remember, we had 48 on the 4. It pays us 24. Let's get paid first, and then we're going to subtract the VIG. There's 24. All right. For every 20, remember, the dealer gets $1. So for that VIG, for that 4, he gets $1. All right. That's 23 going to that 4. All right. Over here, there's 48 there on the 6. So it gets paid. It gets paid 40 for 48. It gets paid 5 for every 6. You've got 8 6s up there, so 8 times 5 is 40. So let's put it this way. There's 35. Let's do it with the long way so that we can take the VIG out. So there's the 40. Right there's the 40. 25, 35, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. $40 you have to pay a $2 VIG. All right. The 9. Okay. I told you. Yeah, I told you right. So the 9 gets paid 2 for every 3 you have bet. So there's 16, 16, 16. There's 3 16s in 9. So it pays you 32. So it pays you 32 minus $1 for every 20. So you give up $4, and I might have wrote that down earlier wrong in my questions because I might have only charged $1 VIG on this one instead of 2. But that 48 would pay 40. So you pay $4 VIG. So this is what you earn. I think you're supposed to earn 57, but it might be 56. Let's see. This is what we earned. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. All right, let's do it like this. All right, so we got 40, we got 38 here for that 48. We got 23 for that 48, and we got 31 for that 48. So let's just add it all together. And see what we got. 50, 60, 70, 80, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. This was VIG's. It's already paid. Yeah, I did that right. That's 92. All right, remember, you got knocked off of 1 lay bet. Remember that 5 got knocked off and you had to replace it. So 92 right here of what you just collected, but 30 of that was the first part of the initial lay. So profit, you made 25, 30, 35, 45, 55, 62. I think. Did I do that right? Because I thought I made 57. Maybe that's right. I mean, I just did it straight out for you. So, all right. So, because we get all these lays back, so all that goes back to us. We can do it simpler like this. I just want to make sure I got this right. 25, 35, 45, 55, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So we got a $62 profit. We actually made 92 off of these $348 lays. But we had to re-up. Remember, we had to re-up. So we got all our... Alright, so let's think. Let's think this out. We had to put a 48 in. And we had to put 84 in, and we had to put 90 in. So we had to put 174 in right here. We had to put 174 in because we had to put a 90, and then we had to put another 84. That's 174. All right, so 174. Let's add all this up and see what we got. So we had to invest 174. So I want to add all this up and see, did it come out the correct way? Did we make the $57 profit, or did we make the $62 profit? 174, there's 125, there's 150, there's 175. So there's 174. There's what we invested. We invested 90. We got one laid down, so we had to put another 84 in. This is profits. This should be either 52 or 62, 57 or 62. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. All right, there you go. We made it through like 7 rows before we seen our first 7. One layback got knocked down, but we still made a $62 profit. Now, again, I'm going to say this again. Most random shooters do not make it that long. I see a lot of random shooters hitting a 7 on a come, or just anybody in general, 7 on a come out. But I see a lot of random shooters 0.7 out. 1, 2, point, a row, and then 7 out. And it never has the opportunity to knock the lay down. All right, but that was one practice session. We made $62. Boom. So for some reason on my notes, I've got it wrote down that we made. Okay, I see what I might have did wrong. No? Oh yeah. Okay, so on level 1 with no lays getting knocked off, we would have made a profit of 57. Okay, I see what I did. So yeah, so on my sheet, if you notice on my sheet, right here at the top, level 1 is no lays getting knocked off. We would have made a total profit of 57. But since we went to level 2 because 1 got knocked off, we made a profit, and I've got it on my sheet, $62. So I've got it on my sheet. I was just confusing that 57 with the 62. All right, so the very first initial try, we had one lay bet that got knocked off. We had to replace. So overall, we made a $62 profit on that one shooter. All right, so let's go into the next shooter. We're going to try this on a couple of occasions because, like I said, I've got the sheet. I've got the money written out all the way up through level 5, and here it is. I'm going to say this again. In order to go through level 1, that'll be no lays get knocked off. You would only need a $100 bankroll. In order to make it through level 2, that's only 1 lay getting knocked off. You need, you have to have, now I don't know what happened to my camera. Did I cause that to mess up when I put that page up there? What did I do to my camera? Oh boy. we go. We refocused now. I guess when I put that page up there, that channel, that camera had to focus. It auto-focused and it got real blurry. When I moved the page, it was blurry out through here. So I guess it was still, okay. So we made it through to level 1. I was telling you about the bankroll. If you go to level 2, you're going to need 200. That's one lay knockoff. If you get 2 lay knockoffs, you're going to be on level 3, so you're going to need a $300 bankroll. For level 4, you're going to need a $500 bankroll, and that's sufficient for 3 different knockoffs. And level 5, you're going to need an $800 bankroll. That's 4 different lays getting knocked off. That's going to take quite a bit of time unless you have a sharp shooter that is let me do, for some reason this one down here has got off too, so let me do a default on that one, and let's see if we can refocus it, because this doesn't seem like it's done got off down there. So let me see right here if I can make it focus better. I don't know if it focused any better. I think it's like it was, but it's still okay. So, and I do have a $1,000 bankroll, so I can go all the way up to level 5. I can take 4 knockoffs before my money's gone. But that first one just netted me 62, so now I could actually be almost on a level 1 bankroll for free. So we're going to do this again. We're going to start off with the same 3 lays, and once it clears, you are free to reduce back down to 30, 30, 30, and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. All right. So what you would do ultimately, I think how this will work out, if you can build your bankroll up a little bit at the time, get you a couple of lay winners like this, and increase your bankroll after 3 or 4 random shooters, you would be able to start going to a higher level. Now you don't have an $800 bankroll. Now you have a $1,200 or $1,500 bankroll. See what I'm getting at? You could eventually, instead of doing $30 lays, you could be doing $60 lays. The payouts are going to be double of everything I got wrote down. Yeah, it's going to cost more to stay going, because like I said, if you get on a shooter that knocks you off 4, 5, 6 times, you're going to need a bankroll to be able to keep adding this money back in, because eventually the 7 is coming. Everybody knows this. The 7 is coming. Now, whoever out there says the 7 ain't coming, they misleading themselves, because the 7 is coming. All right, so let's do this again. Random shooter number 2. Lay bets are always on every roll. We not cutting them off. Now, if we see a known shooter, if we see somebody up here sitting dice and they're consistent, they have a consistent set of that they're using, they have a great swing, we're watching this go on, and we see them nailing that landing zone, we see them hitting numbers, we know good and well we better cut them lay bets off. Maybe. Then again, guess what? The 7 is coming. But what I'm getting at is a random shooter is a lot more likely to net you profits than a sharpshooter, than a dice influencer. Now, someone is just grabbing the dice and blowing on them and throwing on them, you can probably run this strategy all day long. So this is what we're doing. We're on random shooters. What we see 90% of the time, 95% of the time at the table, this is what we see. The guys just picking them up, they poking and hoping. They hoping they win. They poking money out there and hoping they win. They just hoping to get lucky. All right. Now, I want to tell you this. This game is no proven way that it's guaranteed to win. So it don't matter what strategy you use, there is no guaranteed winner in craps. The casino is set up to beat you. So even this lay strategy, even though it might seem pretty good, it can take you down quick. So you need to develop a decent bankroll that can withstand a few knockoffs and you need to put yourself in a loss limit, a stop loss. You need to put yourself a stop loss limit on there, so you know. You need to develop some of that. I can't really tell you where to be at because everybody's bankroll can be different. Everybody has different things about that. So I'm just showing you something that I am trying to get a grip on right here. So here we go. I'm not setting the dice. The new shooter has got the dice. He likes what he sees. He hollers, let's go. All right, he hit a 6-2-8. We have no money on the 8. The lay money is on the 4, 5, and 6 again. So no harm, no foul. All right. All the bets are in. The stick man passes the dice out. Shooter's got the dice. He grabs them. He spins them. He stacks them. He likes them. He slings them. Boom. 6, 4, 10. We have nothing on the 10. No harm, no foul. All the bets are in. Somebody hollers hard way. Somebody says, put me $25 on hopping the hard 10, you know, whatever they say. $5 high horn high yo, whatever they say. Dice are out to the shooter. He grabs them, he slings them up to the wall, he likes what he sees, he gets them. Let's go, dice, he hollers, he slings them. Boom! 415. All right, he hit a 415. So he hit a 415. Our first lay got knocked down right here. Our lay's going. We immediately throw the dealer $84. And since I have change and I'm going to have to do it for myself anyway, I throw the dealer $84 and I tell him $48 on the, not the 5, $48, lay the 9. 48 right there, lay the 9, and I want to add 18 to my 6. And 18 to my 4. So I'm carrying them up to 48 each, and I got 48 over here. Now we have moved to level 2. So now the dice, all bets are made. Horn high yo, somebody hollers. They throw their $5 up. This shooter gets his dice. He likes what he sees. He's trying to hit that 8, and he slings them. And boom! Aces. Aces, aces. Aces in both places. All right. No harm, no foul. We have no money up there. We lost nothing. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The dice are out. All the bets is in. Stick man gives the shooter the dice. He likes what he sees. He rolls them around here like this. He wants these 2 4s to come. He wants them 4s. He gets them. He grabs them. And dice are gone. 3-3, hard way 6. Boom. Our second lay bet just got knocked off. No worries. No worries. This is what you have to do. To move to level 3, you have to ante up another 120. So this is what happens. Instead of that lay bet going back on the 6, $72 goes on the 8. There's 72 for the 8. You lay that 8. Now you got to pump 24 here and 24 more there. So you throw the dealer. I'm just going to do it myself because I'm having a deal for myself anyway. So I'm going to do it out of this rack instead of throwing the dealer. So I give him 24 more for that one, and I give him 24 more for this one. And I tell him, so I give him 120. I told him to put me 72 on the 8 and increase my 9 and my 4 by 24 more each. So 24 is 48 plus that 72. That's 120. All right. Now, so this is level 3. We're at level 3 right now. That's 2 knockoffs. All right, so the dealer, so all the bets are in. The dealer is got all the bets in. He hands the dice back to this roller. Guy gets them, and he is ready to roll. 6-2-8. He hit his point. He knocked your 8 off. Boom. There's the 3rd knockoff. Lay is down. Lay is down. All right. So that 3rd lay is down. So now that we got our 8 knocked off, we have to go back to the 6. So now we're moving to level 4. You got level 4. You have to replace that one with 108. We're going to the 6 with the 108. We have to add 36 for each one of them. So that's another 72. So we're adding a total of 180 in that one. That was 108 plus another 72. So I'm going to take $3 from the house and give him this 75. He's got to add 36 to that one and 36 to that one. All right, there it is. There, we just added 36 there, 36 there, and 108 there. That's another 180 in. So we're at level 4 right now. Level 4 is 3 knockoffs. All right, this is a brand new come out. The guy likes, he's on a roll. He's on a roll. He's on a roll. He likes what he sees. He grabs the dice. Now remember, we always working. Dice are AC-doocy. So he loses on the come out roll for AC-doocy, but he re-antes and he moves on. So he re-ups, everybody horn high yo, horn high aces, whatever they getting, hopping the hard ways, whatever they doing. He gets the dice, he gets the dice, he likes what he sees. He's trying to get a point established. Here he goes, dice are out. 6s, boxcar, so boom, he's down again on the pass line, but this does not hurt our lay bets. Horn high 12, horn high yo, hop in the hard ways, whatever the bets are called, the bets are up. And the dealer passes the roller, the dice, he gets them, he likes what he's got, he gets them a few times on the wall, he likes what he sees, he's dice are out. 5, 6, yo, whoever holler horn high yo just now getting paid. Alright, so that's a frontline winner. But this is still not affecting us. Alright, all the bets are in, all the bets are paid. The don'ts take the dues and pay, take the don'ts and pay the dues. Everything's up. So this guy, he's got the dice back. He's trying to establish another point. Dice are out. 6-5, yo again. Boom. Take the dues, take the don'ts and pay the dues. Take the don'ts and pay the dues. 6-5, yo, hit again. Alright, so all the bets are re-in. Guy gets the dice again. Trying to get a point established. And boom. 3-3, hard way 6. We got hit again. Alright, so here's one of these rollers that's done knocked 4 lay bets off. Now we're moving to level 5. This is why you need that $800 bankroll. Alright, so level 5, you have to immediately reinvest $270 more. Now I know this sounds high. This is high. You know, that's why I said you have to have an $800 bankroll to go to level 5. And you could even have to go further. This is a proven scenario right here. Alright, the 270, this is how it's dispersed. Alright, that last knockoff was a 6, so you have to replace that 108 with 162. So 162 of this money, there's 175 right there, so it gets back 13 and change. So there's 13 and change, and then the 162 does this. So you lay the sister number. So there's the 150, 62. You lay in that 8. The other 100 and, what is this? 118. Let's see what happens. You have to add 54 there and 54 there. So that's 100. Why have we got 18? Did I put too much money up? 108 plus 54 is 162, and then you add 54 there and 54 there, which is 108. It should be only 108. I don't know where this other 10 is coming from. But regardless, I must have counted something wrong. But anyway, it's supposed to be adding 54 more there. So we're going to add 54 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're adding 54 more here. Alright, so that's our whole 270 is invested. And now we are at level 5. Now we're at level 5. We got all this laying on the 4. We got that laying on the 8. We got that laying on the 9. All of them should be 162 if I count them all up. All right, so the dice are out. The dealer, all the bets are in. Looking for the 6. Or that was actually the point was made. He hit the 6. All right, so this would be a new come out. New come out, it doesn't matter. We're still on a lay. All that money's on a lay. So here we go. The guy gets the dice. He rolls them over here against the wall a couple times. He likes what he sees. He is, dice are out. 549. Our 9 just got bumped again. So boom, we're down that lay again. At this point in time, I have not written up any more rules to say to keep going further. Today was not really rules. This is not my strategy. I'm trying to figure out how this works. So we see right here with a random roller that we've invested all this money. This was another 162. This is supposed to be 162. Let's see if that's what this is. There's 100. 25. 50. 55. 60. 162. Okay, so we got 162. 162, 162. So basically, this is what you'd have to do. If you wanted to continue level 6, you'd have to take that 162, multiply it times 1.5. So 162 times 1.5. So you'd have to put another 243 up. 100, 200, 25. 240. There's the 243. You'd have to put this 243 up here, but you wouldn't lay that one now. You would lay the 5. And then you would have to add 243, subtract the 162. You'd have to add 81 here and 81 here. I don't even have that much more money because I only started with a $1,000 bankroll. So level 5, you have to have 800. But to go to level 6, which would be now, you'd maybe probably need 1,200. So let's just go ahead and get 2 more hundred from the bank. I don't think I need that much, but there's 2 more hundred, so I'd have to put 81 more there, which is that, and I'd have to put 81 more there. So I put 81. So I invested 81 plus 81 plus 243. But how did it go to 243? 243, it didn't round right. 162. So maybe it's not quite 163. Maybe it's not 263. Or hold up, it was 162 times 1.5. 243. That's 243. So these numbers are not exact. It shouldn't be 243. Maybe it should just be 240. But anyway, you get the gist of it. So let's just, I don't think it's going to be 243. I think it should just be 240. You can't lay, I mean, you can lay it odd, but you either need to do it 242 or 244, or just 240 would be good. So 240 and then add 70 to the 162. Add 170 instead. Add 80 instead of 81. So take your $1 back there and your $1 back there. So you're adding 80 there and 80 there, which is 160 plus 140. That's 320. That's not right. Yeah, we added 80 there and we added 80 there and we put 143 there. So that's 243. We put there 240 actually. So we put 240 there, and then we needed to add 80 there. 240 minus that was 162. We only needed to put 78 there, so I can take them $2 more out and them $2 more out. Now it's right. So at first I said put 81 there and 81 there. I was going to the exact 1.5 denomination, but you don't have to do that. So we added 240 plus 78 plus 78 more. So we just added 396 back in to this again to move to level 6. All right. This would be a hot shooter. And this would be the kind of circumstances that can and probably will happen sometimes. So that's why I said earlier before I started this shooter, you need to have a stop limit. How many levels do you want to go? Do you just want to do 1 or 2 levels, and if they knock your 1 or 2 lays off, just stop? Or do you want to keep this progressive strategy going? Because somewhere down the road, the 7 is coming. But here we go. We're going to roll again. We're at level 6, even though I don't have it on the printout. There we go. Dice are out. And we hit the 6. We don't have no money on 6. So he didn't hurt our lay that time. He didn't hurt our lay that time. So here we go. Dice are out. The guy shoots, and he's got the 7. There's the 437. All right, so it took us all the way to level 6. In order to get to level 6, you seen I needed about 1,000 because I had 1,000 to start with, so I needed about 1,200. I had to get 2 more hundred from the bank, and I've got a little left over. So I probably could have went with $1,100 and made it to level 6. Because level 5, you needed an $800 bankroll, and I did have the first shooter that netted me 62. So without that 62, I would have needed 2 more hundred. So I think 1,000. Without that 62, $1,000 bankroll might cover it, but it might take 1,100. But there's our 7. So now that our 7 finally came, let's look at our payouts, because we're about to get all this money back plus all the lay bets. All right, so let's first look. All the lay bets, all these bets are going to be the same: 100, 50, 200, 25, 240. That's what we got there. That's what we're supposed to have everywhere. These are all going up at the same rate. So there's 200, 10, 20, 30, 40. There's the 240 for the 6. And once we count everything up on the 4, it's 240 also. It's just scrambled up because we're dealing for ourselves. We're adding the money in as we go, but a dealer will keep this nice and neat. And we're going to add it for the camera. There's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's 50. There's 100. There's 200. There's 240. So let's just go ahead and make it look real pretty for each one. So there's the 240. No, that's 140, ain't it? So everything's got 240 on it. There's 2. Let's make it look real pretty for the simplifications. Let's make it look real nice and neat, like a dealer at the table would make it. Because the dealer at the table would be doing this along the way. He wouldn't have all this money and all them colors out there. As you throw the 84 and the 120 and the 180 and the 270 out there, and actually the 396 that it would have took on this one, he would have been coloring all that up and putting the proper money out there just like this. So he'd have had them stacked up nice and neat. 240, that was only 140. I'm shortening it again. Everything's 240 and 240. All right, so now that he had it like that and the 7 came, this is what would have happened. Now you could see how our $1,000 bankroll was out there. And this kind of strategy, you know, it's progressive strategy. And that's why I say, you know, this can get expensive real quick, but it's not going to lose money. Oh, if you've got enough money to keep progressing, the 7 is coming eventually. Now that shooter went 5, knocked off 4, knocked off 5, knocked off 5 lay bets. He knocked off 5 lay bets. That was a long shooter. Maybe I need to just start random shooting. He's doing better than me when I shoot. All right, so now let's get the payouts. All right, so 240 on the 4 or 10 pays 120. 120 minus the VIG. So 120, that's $6 VIG. Let's take it out of this. there's the $4 back. So now that it's at 114, so the VIGs paid. Are the 5 or 9? 240. That's what is that? 80, 80, and 80. So it pays 160. It pays 2 for every 3 you had laid. So 240 pays 160 minus the VIG. 5 for the 100 and $3 more for the 60. So that's an $8 VIG it cost you. So there's the 152. All right, the 8, it pays 5 for every 6. So there's in 240, there's 40 6s in 240. Check it out. 240 divided by 6 is 40 of them. Multiply that times 5. So 240 pays 200. 200 costs you 10 VIG. There's 200 minus the $10 VIG. Now, they might make you pay the VIG up front. So if you have to pay the VIG up front, you have to have all this on your card so you know how much to throw in. Because you might have to throw in, when you throw this $396 up to get all these bets up, you might have to throw the VIG in to cover all that. I don't know how they do it. You know, it's different casinos do different things. All right, but now we've paid the VIG. We have. It took us 5 knockoffs to get through the second shooter. Let's see where we're at now. So look at all this money we just made. All right, so we've paid all the VIGs. So all this money comes back to us. All these lay bets get back to our bankroll. We don't have to leave them big old high denominations up there. We can start this right back up with the back down to the $30 level. So all these lay bets and all this profit racks goes to our rack. Not Iran, goes to our rack, and then we can ran. We can rack it and then ran. We can do an Iraq and Iran all at the same time. You can do an Iraq, a color up, and an Iran all at once. Because here it is. This is all profit. Well, I'm not going to say it's all profit. We started with a $1,000 bankroll. We had to get another $200 from the bank. So we need $1,200. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 1,000. There's 1,100, 1,150, 1,175, 1,200. This is profit. This don't look right because we should have made way more than that. Something I didn't do right. Did I not pay myself right? I didn't pay something right because I didn't do something right. But you can see we are back to a profit. I didn't pay something correctly because on level 5, even though we was progressing like that, we still should have made a total profit of 189. All right, so let me look at that. All right, so we made 232. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't subtract something right. Level 5 was 4 knockoffs, so we made a 77 and 103. That's 180 plus 129. That's 309, and we had 4 knockoffs minus 120. Yeah, so on level 5, even with the 4 knockoffs, we would have still profited 189. On level 6, I don't have on my paper, but let me count this back out. If we had 240, 240, and 240 up there, did I pay myself right? That's what I'm kind of wondering. Because it seems that I should have had at least a $250 profit. All right, there's the 240. I want to see if I paid myself right or wrong. I don't know. 240 would have paid 120 minus a VIG of $6. So we'll pay 114. So that would have paid 114. All right. let's add this 6, 240 would have paid 5 for every 60. It paid 5 for every 6. So it would pay 200 minus a $10 VIG. Wait a minute. It would have paid 200 minus the $10 VIG, so it would have paid 190. That might be where I messed up. I don't remember giving myself 190 there. I remember giving myself a 190 here. All right, let's look back at this 6. 240 would have paid 200. 200 will cost you $10 VIG, so add 190. All right, right here, the 9, it would have paid 2 for every 3 you had bet. So it would have paid us 160 minus the VIG. So 160 minus $8 VIG, so it would have paid 152. So that's $456 that you made, but you got knocked off 5 times. So that cost you 150. So subtract 150. So for some reason right there, we should have come out with $306 profit. That's subtracting the VIGs. I didn't do something correctly on that shooter to come out with the right money, because I should have profited 306 above my initial bankroll. Now I know I had to go and get $200 over my 1,000 just to go to level 6. So if I take 200 off of 306, that's 106. But when I just now did that, I was down to like this right here for my 1,200. And that's what I was like, that's not 106. Or is that 106? That might be 106. There's 50. There's 70. That's not 106. You know, I had a $10 earlier that I said I don't know what happened to it, and I had it extra. That might be the total difference. There's 75. There's 80. That still ain't 106. But I still should be at least at 106. But anyway, this is a demonstration, and what I'm going to do, that shooter was on the road. If you have the bankroll to go to level 6 and 7 and 8, and this is with a $30 lay bet, it might, if you have, now you're going to be fortunate a lot of times, because a lot of shooters ain't going to make it past the point. A lot of shooters are going to get a 0.7 out, and a lot of shooters are going to get a 7 out, or a 7 in the come out. So you're going to be sitting like Fat Joe eating a Subway sandwich at Jersey Mike's. You know, you're going to be sitting over there like a fat cat stealing the cheese off the mousetrap. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I messed something up. I don't know what I messed up. I didn't have level 6 rolled on my paper because I didn't really anticipate a random roller going that far. All right, so here we're going to do a new shooter. Now, you've seen, even though it took a lot of shooting, even though it took a lot of progressive betting, you still was able to get all your money back. Your initial bankroll, you had more money than what you started with, so you still profited, even though you had to have enough bankroll to withstand that storm. 7 is coming. So now we're going to try this again. Now we're going to pick 3 odd numbers. This time we're going with the 5, the 8, and the 10 this time. 5, 8, and 10. We're laying them numbers. We are always working to come out. Now, once that shooter does finally hit the 7 and it moves to the next shooter, you get all your money and you just regress back down to the $30 level. Hey, what's up, Clay? How's it going, East Coast? I was trying to get my mind wrapped around these lay bets. So I wrote this stuff out. If you read in my post on Skype, one of the last things I posted maybe an hour ago, I posted a kind of a long one that said, do I have all this right? I asked everybody, does this look right? So I wrote all that out. I typed it all out because I'm trying to understand this lay bet. So what I'm seeing from laying 3, now at one day, Andrew said you lay across the back wall and you just progressively bet keep pressing them. And then he come back a few days later and he said, instead of laying the back wall, just pick 3 sister numbers and lay those. That limits your exposure to every single number. So I just did that on 2 separate occasions, and on level 1, you have no knockoffs. You just get a straight come out 7, or you get a 0.7 out, and it's an automatic $57 profit. That's counting the VIGs already being took out. Level 2, you have 1 knockoff throughout the session before the 7. That turns into be a $62 profit minus the VIGs. Level 3, you have 2 knockoffs. It turns into be a $78 profit minus the VIGs. Level 4, you end with a $117 profit, but that's 3 knockoffs, and all this is progressively building. So what you have to do, level 5 is 4 knockoffs, and you make a profit of $189. That subtracts all VIGs and everything, so that's profit, total profit. But the thing that I was explaining right here about this stuff and testing was you have to have a substantial amount of money a lot of times to play this crap, because you know, I just demonstrated the last roller. He knocked my lay off 5 times. I had to actually go to level 6 before he finally got the 347. So I had to go deep. I actually had to have a bankroll of like $1,100 to get to level 6. Now, when he finally hit that 7, I got my whole $1,100 bankroll back. Oh, I know what I did. I now remember what I did. I don't know what I did, but I come up short that last time, so I was running it one more time. All right, so what I did, I've got a lay on the 5, 8, and 10 for 30 each. I'm going to progress this strategy once again. I'm starting out on, you know, this is just a brand new come out roller. The lay bets are always working. It don't matter if you're on the come out. It don't matter if you're on a, don't matter when. The lay bets are always on. So here we go. Random shooter. Ain't no dice practicing right now. It's just pick the dice up. He rolls them into the wall a few times. He might get them like this. He might sling them. He might hold them like this. He do whatever. It's a random roll. There we go. Dice roll. 5, 6 yo. 5, 6 yo. No harm, no foul. Frontline winner. Take the dumps and pay the dues. Get your bets in. All tall, small is closed, but you can hop. You can do whatever. All the bets in. Boxman hands him the dice. Dice are out. Little Joe from Kokomo, he says. I need a little Joe from Kokomo. He's trying to establish a point. He's hopping the 4s. He's hopping the hard way 4. Here we go. Ace 3 4. So he hopped the wrong 4. He hopped the hard 4. Ace 3 4. Point goes to 4. We have no lay bets on the 4, so we are not hurt. No harm, no foul. We're just playing along. Keep in mind, if you really want to probably take a chance on making a little money, you got those lays up there, so think about place betting the other 3, at least for 1 or 2 hits. But that might just be a grind. That might be something you don't want to really take that money on. Right now we're just testing this place bet strategy. Here we go. He's looking for a little Joe from Kokomo. Dice are out. Little Joe, here we go. 2, 6, 8. We got a $30 lay on 8, so our 8's down. $30 8 is down. We have to re-up. So we're going to throw in $84. We're going to tell the dealer $84, $48. We're not jumping back on the 8. We're going to the sister. We're going to the 6. We went 48 on the 6, add 18 to the 5, and 18 to the 10. The dealer's going to do all that work. He's got you covered. There's 48. There's your 48 on the 6 now. You're laying the sister number. You're not laying. Oh, that was the 6. Wait a minute. I didn't have no money on that. Oh, that's the 8. Yeah, that's the 8. So we lay the 6 now. We lay the sister number. He's got to give us $1 and change because we give him 85. We wanted 18 to go here. And 18 to go here. All right, here we go. Money's out. Bets are made. Get your bets in. Place bets. Get them in. Get them in. Get them up. Get them in. Here we go. We got $48 lay on the. We got a $48 lay on the 5, 6, and 10. The point is a 4. We're hopping the hard 4. We're not hopping the 4s. We're waiting for the 7 to come. The shooter is hopping the hard way 4. He's got a 2-way hop on the 4. He's not hopping hard way. He's got a 2-way hop on the 4. There you go. Dice are out. 6, 4, 10. Boom. We knock our second lay bet down. 48's down. 48 is down immediately. That's 2 lays that's got knocked off. We're moving into level 3. Level 3, you got to throw up another $120. This time, so we had 48 on it. You've got to put 72 now on the sister number of the 10. It got knocked down. So 72 of the 120. Let's break it down like this. There's 100. Let's break it all the way down like this so that we can see where the money goes. So there's 120 that we just throw to the dealer. We told him we wanted 72 going on the 4. So there's 70. That we got to get some more breakdown. Let's get this quarter broke down too. So the dealer, he's going to do it. He's going to put 72. There's the 70. 72 of it is going here on the 4 now. We're not laying the 10, we're laying the sister number. 72 there, we've got 48 there, so we've got to take this other, we've got to increase this one by 24 and this one by 24. So if we take 24 off of this one, that leaves $1. And this one turns into the 24. So we press both of these numbers. 24 each. We pressed that 6 by 24. We pressed that 5 by 24. All 3 numbers are sitting at $72 lay bets. That's was that our second knockoff? That was our second knockoff. We've had 2 knockoffs, so we are at level 3 right now. If the 7 comes right now, we're going to make a total profit. After we take our VIGs, we're going to make a total profit of 78. But here we go. Little Joe from Kokomo, bets are in, dice are out. Shooter gets the dice. He likes what he sees. He's looking for Little Joe from Kokomo. Here he goes. Dice are out. Acey-deucey. No harm, no foul. Acey-deucey. No harm, no foul. Bets are in. Somebody hollered for a horn high aces. Somebody hollered for a hard way 4. Hopping that hard way 4. Little Joe from Kokomo. 426. We busted our another lay bet down. Boom. Busted another lay bet down. So there's 72 down. So this time what we have to do, we move into level 4. Level 4 says drop the dealer another 180. Drop the dealer 180. Tell him we want to replace that 72 with 108, but we're going to put 108 right there. So let's put 108. Let's do it this way. We're going to take that quarter. We're going to put 100. Let's even take it this way. Alright, so now that we've got the 180 this way, we're going to put 108 on the 8 now. We're laying the 8. We're hopping the sister number. Not hopping. We're laying the sister number. We're going to take the remaining, which is 60 there. Which is 35, 36 there, and 36 there. We're adding 36 to this one, and 36 to this one. So all 3 of them are at 108. Now, we're at level 4. We have knocked 3. We're actually going, that was level 4. We're actually moving, that was level 4. No, we're in level 4. We just re-anted for 180. And we've knocked 3 off. We've knocked 3 off. We're still looking for Little Joe. We're not shooting. We're not shooting. Dice shooters looking for a Little Joe from Kokomo. Dice are out. And here we go. 6-4-10. We have no lay money on the 10. It's already been hit, and our lay monies went to the 4. Dice are out. Little Joe from Kokomo. He's not setting. He's just picking up and around and rolling, but he might put them any kind of way. He might grab them. He might blow on them. He might throw them against the wall. But whatever he does, he's trying to hit a 4. So dice are out. Little Joe from Kokomo. He hit an 8. Knocked our 8 off again. So boom, our 8 for 108 is down. 108 is down. 108 is down. We have to move into level 5 now. We dropped the dealer 270. $270. Moving into level 5. We dropped the dealer 270. We're telling we want to replace the one knockoff 8. We want to go back to the sister number, so we're going to put 162. Let's see, we're replacing with 162. Yep, we're putting 162 on the 6, so we need change here. 162 of that goes to the 6. The remaining of it, which is 108, we take 54 from each. Let's get change for this. The dealer will make all this change. We don't have to worry about it. We're going to add 54 to this number. We're going to add 54 to this number. That way we've got 162 on all three numbers. All right. This is a hot shooter. We've got lay bets on the 4, 5, and 6 for 162 each. We're on level 5 right now. We're on level 5. That's why I said this can get very expensive real quick if you get to a shooter. And that's why I'm kind of questioning, have I been doing this crap right? That's why I wanted to practice it, because this gets expensive quick. Little Joe from Kokomo, shooter is hot. He's on the roll. He's looking for a 4. He throws them. He hits a 7. 167. 167. The shooter 7's out. Boom. The shooter gets a 167. Now, it took quite a bit of money. It took quite a bit of money out of our $1,000 bankroll. Look what we had left. We was down to critical condition. This was down to critical condition. I would hate to walk out of the bank. I would hate to got knocked off right there again and then either have to re-up or walk away because I ain't bring no more than that with me. This is 125 plus 100. That's 225. 255 right here. 256. How would you feel about walking away from the casino down $744 because of this progressive strategy? Can you handle it? Can you do it? That might be the question you need to ask yourself. Can you handle that progressive lay strategy? Even though you start with $30 on 3, once you progress each one of them up, this gets expensive quick. Now, true enough, the 7 is coming. We know this. We've seen this. We see this day after day after day. The 7 is coming. Okay, so now we've got 162 here, 162 here, 162 here. We have to figure out what the payouts are. 162 pays $81 for the 162. All right, $81, you have to pay a $4 VIG. So let's go ahead and take the $4 right there. So 81 minus $4 VIG, you've got a $77 profit. 162 on the 5, it pays, let's see, what is 162 divided by 3? 162 divided by 3 is $54. 54 and 54 is 108. So that 162 pays 108. It pays 108. The VIG, this pays 3 for every 2. So it pays, there's 3 54s there, so it pays 2 of them. 54 and 54 minus the VIG. 108 is going to cost you $6 VIG. Take that out. VIG's gone. Let's move to the 6 now. It pays, so 162 divided by 6, 27 times 5. It pays 135 here. 135 minus the VIG. So it's going to take 5 for the 100, and for the 35, it's going to take another $1. So it's going to take $6 VIG. So let's take 10, give $4 in change. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, let me get this cleaned up. We're going to get, I've asked for feedback if I'm doing this right, and I'm more of a visual person, so I really need to practice it, and I definitely need to see it happening right here so that I don't get nervous in the casino when my bankroll starts getting thin like it did right here. Because this is all the way up to level 5. You don't see a lot of random rollers making it that long. Let's color up, because we've paid all our VIGs. We've paid all our VIGs, so all this comes back to us. You don't have to leave this out there for the next shooter. The next shooter, you know, the dealer figures all this out, but you need to have, if you're going to do this, you got to be quick, sharp, and in a hurry with the math so that you know they're not cheating you. Or you're going to have to do, like I said I was going to do, and that's going to be make this note card out to where I know if I'm on level 5, that when the dealer hands me my money, I should be getting back all my 162, 162, 162s, and I should be profiting in 189. So I'm going to already have the VIG subtracted. I might have to ante them up front. But anyway, let's rack up and color up. We're going to see. We started with a $1,000 bankroll. It took us $750 into that bankroll before this guy hit the 7. That was with 4 knockoffs. He had knocked our point off 4. He had knocked our lay bet off 4 times, and that was using sister numbers. That was not even the lay in the back wall. Let me see. All right, so here's our money. There's 5, there's 100, 200, 300, 500, that's 800, 900, there's 1,000. Something ain't coming out right. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, unless I didn't figure something out correctly. But I should have more profits than this, I would think. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. I should have more than $50 profit. Because on my sheet, on level 5, the way I figured all the math up, I'm supposed to have $189 total profit. Where is the rest of the money? We anteed up 90. 4 knockoffs is 30, 30, 30, 30. That's 120. So on that VIG, it paid us 107, it paid us 103, and it paid us 129. Did I get my 129 right there? I remember saying 135 minus the $6 VIG, so 129 and 10. All right, so 77. I remember having that because I had 81 minus the $4 VIG. And I had 103 because I had 108 minus the $6. I had 109 minus. I had 108 minus the $5 VIG. So it was 103. Did I have 103 right there? Did I short myself? 103. And 77 was 177 plus this 129. That's 309. That's 309. Minus, I had to put in 120 because I got knocked out 4 times. That's 189. So I still should have profited 189. I should have a $189 profit over here. Why do I not have the $189 profit over here? I've only got 20, 30, 40, 50. I've only got $50 profit because here's my $1,000 bankroll. 100, 200, 700, 800, 1,000. I'm not doing something correct. I don't know what's going on. That's why I wanted to put this out there and ask everybody, do I have this wrote out right? I don't. Something ain't coming out right. Because the way my math worked, I put up a $90 from the initial. Let's just do it like this. There's our $1,000. We put up a $90 initial investment. 3 different lays. 1 down. We'll replace with 48 there plus 18 and 18. So 18 and 18 is 36 plus 48. That's $84. So we replace. We got 80. So now we got 48 on everything. That's 1 down. All right, the second down. The second knockdown, say that takes that one, we have to replace that 48 with 72. There's 72. So 72. And then we have to take that nut 24. And this is nut 24. So that's 72 plus 48. That's 120. That's 120. I've got that wrote in there. So that's 2 knockdowns. Third knockdown. Let's call it third knockdown. Boom, that's gone. So we have to replace 72 with 108. 1, 5. Let's get this changed. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we go with 108, and then we have to take 36 here and 36 more here. get them to 108. So that's 36. 36 is 72 plus 108. That's another 180. I did that. Alright. The last knockoff knocked this 108 off, so I had to go 108. So I had to go up to 162. Right there. I gotta have change again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Or there's my change. So 162. So that 162 goes right there. And then we've got to carry this one up 54. Right there. This one up 54. Which is right there. So I said that left me a while ago when I did all that. That left me with 246, didn't it? Because I said, how would you feel about going home? No, 266. Because I said, how would you feel? Or 256. I said, how would you feel like going home with us down 744? So there's 250, 75, 76. So maybe I was pulling too much money. Well, anyway, there's 276 that I have left. While ago, I thought I only had 256 because I said, how would you feel about going home $744 in the hole? But anyway, let's see if I got, let me see, I might not have these right. Anyway, I'm just kind of curious of what's happening wrong here because there's 100, 10, 20, 25, 50, 55, 61, no, 62. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 162. So this one's right. 162 here. $162 on this one. Let's make sure this one's right. I feel like it is. Let's just be curious. 25. There's 100. There's 150. 162. Alright, so I got all of them at 162. So all of them's at 162. Let's see if I'm not paying myself correctly. Or did some of my math come out wrong? Alright, so all this would be the banks. So this is what I've anteed up so far to get to this level. I anteed up 90 from the start, plus I anteed up another 84, plus I anteed up another 120, plus I anteed up another 180, and I anteed up another 270. So I've anteed up 744 minus the 1,000. So I should have 256. Remember, I counted the last time and said, how would you feel about being, there's 255, 56. I don't know how I got 20 extra in my rack, but I don't have it no more. All right, so there's my 256 that I should have. That's what I thought I was supposed to have. So going into 5 level, I've already anteed up $744. It's right out there. All right, so now I got to get paid off of this. Well, it's not all out there. Some of it's been getting knocked off. 262 pays, oh, it's 162. It pays 81 minus the VIG, so it pays 77. So there's 77. This one, 5 or 9, it pays 108 minus the $5 VIG, so it pays 103. So 1, let's put the 03 up like that. Let's don't even do it like that. Let's do it like this. 103. It pays 103. That's the VIG's gone. 6 or 8 pays 135 minus the $6 for the VIG, so it pays 1. It pays 129. There's 25. There's 129. So now when you add all 3 of these together, 77 plus 103 plus 129, you got a 309. This is 309 right here. Now keep in mind, We put all that money in, but all that money ain't still out there because it's been knocked off. Basically, so my total profits is I'm not subtracting correctly, I don't guess. My total profits wouldn't be 189. This would be correct right here, and that's the way I just paid myself. All right, so 109. I know I had to keep putting that money up and it get knocked off. Keep putting that money up and it get knocked off. Keep putting that money up and it get knocked off. So this would be my total profit. So I've got 309 right here minus the VIGs plus 162 plus 162 plus 162 plus right here 256. So my total profit ain't but 1,051. So you telling me all that right there? All that right there, all that work and all that risk, or not really risk, it just takes a lot of bankroll to do this. I only made $51. I mean, I've got, out of all this right here, paying the VIGs and getting all my money back, I've got all my bankroll back and a profit of $51. But it seems like I should have a whole lot more than that. I mean, that's a lot of dang hits. Now, this will work a lot better in the short run when you don't have to keep on upping this money. When you have to keep on throwing this money out here, when you have to keep on throwing money out to keep on upping them knockoffs. So there's 20. Go ahead and put this in the rack. And there's 35. Let's go ahead and get a quarter for that. Get that. This should be at the end of the day. This is 1051. Alright, this is 1051. That's on level 5. For some reason on my paper earlier, I figured up that we should have a $189 profit. I just don't see why on my paper ain't coming out of that. Maybe because once you start anteing up, see, I've anteed up all those. Okay, so maybe this. One knockoff, you only have to subtract 30. But on 2 knockoffs, you have to subtract 30. Okay, so this might be, here I think I'm getting it now. On 1 knockoff, you have to take your total profit and subtract 30, which is 23, 31, and 38, which is 92 minus the 30, because 1 knockoff. But on 2 knockoffs, the first knockoff was a 30, but the second knockoff was a 48. So maybe that's the difference. So it's a $78. So 35, so let's see that now. 30 plus 48 is 78. No. 35, let's do this. 35 plus 46 plus 57 minus 78. So that, see, on knockoff on level 3, I should make a $60 profit, I think. That might be different. So if we're supposed to have $51 profit, 51's down. So we've got $1,000 here. 400. Let's do this. Let's get them 50 back. You don't even need that there. Just do this. 100, 200, 300, 400. There's the 500. Let's just do this. Just get back to our 1,000. Because something, like I said, I'm usually more of a visual person. I have to see what's happening right here to understand this. And this lay strategy could very well be profitable, but you just might have to have a whole lot of money to do this crap. That's all I'm really pointing out. All right, so here's our $1,000 bankroll. I'm going to work it through I've already worked it through one knockoff because it come out perfect, just like my sheet said. On knockoff number 2, let's see what happens. So we're going to work it through 2 knockoffs and see what our profit will be. Then we'll go up to 3 knockoffs and see what our profit will be. We just do it this way, literally, because I don't know, on my math or something, I didn't come out right. Because the way I figured it, on 2 knockoffs, I should still end with a $78 profit, but I just now refigured something. I might only end with a $60 profit. So let's see. First knockoff is down. So we ante back up the $84. 84, boom, he gives us $1 and change. So we put, first knockoff is gone. So we put 48 right there. Dealer will do all this math for us. He'll put 48 there. He'll add 18 to that one. And he'll add 18 to that one. Alright, that's one knockoff down. We know if we do a VIG now, our profit's going to be 62 because I've already did that. We're looking at second knockoff. So now let's say second knockoff for 48 gets down. We've got to replace, we've got to throw back in another 120. So we're going to throw in 120 because we need to put that 48 got knocked down, so we need to take that one up to 72, which is right there. 70, gonna have change. There's the change for the quarter. There's the 72, and then we're gonna take this other, which is 25, 35, 45, 46, 47, 48. So we're taking 24 there and 24 there. So there's 23. Well, here, let's do it like this. We put that there and we'll take $1 back. That's 24, and it leaves 24 for going for there. That's 2 knockoffs. So that's 2 knockoffs, and now we get a 7. So let's pay this VIG. So now that we've got 72 on everything, this is the way I got it pays us. It pays us 35 here because we got 72. It actually pays us 36 minus the $1 VIG, so it pays us 35. This is the this would actually be the 4, the 5 or 9, the 6 or 8. So the 4 pays 35 after the VIG. 5 or 9 is going to pay 48. It's going to pay 48 for 72. 72 out there, it pays 48 minus $2 VIG, so it gives us 46. There's the 46. And the 6 and 8 is going to pay 40 minus the VIG. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I wrote, it don't pay 40, it pays 60. Why did I say 40? Or yeah, it pays 60 minus the VIG of 3, it pays $57. Is that right? 72, yeah, it pays 60 minus the VIG, so it pays $57. So now let's see if our profits come up what I think they should. I said the profit should have come up with 78 because this is how I did it. I added this 35 to this 46 to this 57, and then I subtracted the 2 knockoffs, which was 60 bucks. But I think that's where I messed up. Just now redid a calculation. I subtracted 30 and 48. So let's see if that comes up right. So 35 plus 46 right here plus 57. That's 138. And at first I said we had 2 knockoffs, so that's $60 gone, but that's more than 60. That's 60 gone and 48 gone. I mean, that's 30 gone and 48 gone. So let's subtract 78. Now we're saying we got a 78. Now we're saying we got a $60 profit. Is that correct, though? Is that correct? The only way for me to really see it is to do this. Take everything back to this stage. Because I am a literal person. I probably should have figured all this crap out before I got on live, but I needed help seeing it. And I still don't know it. So all this would have come back to me after the 2 downs, the 2 knockoffs. So let's see how much we got. 1, 2, 3. Let's get a quarter for this right here to see if that'll fill this rack. There's 800. Here's 1,000. So there's our 1,000. So we can leave this in the rack. I took all that out. There's our initial 1,000. Here's our profit. So is this 60? 40. 56. So it's a $56 right there. I don't know why it's different, but it's only a $56 profit right there. I had it being at 78. Alright, so this one's at a $56 profit after 2 knockdowns. Maybe it's the VIGs. Anyway, I counted up, there it is. So level 3 I thought was supposed to made a level 3 I thought was supposed to made a $78 profit. It turns out it only made a 56. 16, 10, 20, 30, 40, $56 profit, because here's my 1,000. Alright, if I go all the way back through all that and do 3 knockoffs, what's going to be the difference? So how did that come out? So I ended up 30, I ended up 90, and then 30 got gone, and I ended up 84 more. And then one of them 48s got gone. So that's a 30 and a 48 down. So 78. So I still should have had a $60 profit. So I must have just miscounted $4 somewhere, but I should have had a $68 profit because only 2 knockoffs got gone. That was a $30 knockoff and then a replace with a 40. But was the replace with the 40 actually gone? Not really, because let's say the 30 got gone. So I replaced that 30 with the 48. So there's the new 48 right there. Plus I added 18 there and 18 there. That's what I re-added, which is 84. Re-added 48 plus 18 and 18, 36. That's 84. I re-upped 84. And if this one gets gone this time, then I've got to ante up 72 new dollars for this one, plus 24 here and 24 there, which is another 120. Just not got this figured out. You're right, Clay. This looks like a job for Andrew, and this is all started from Andrew. And I'm trying to figure out how my math ain't coming out right, because the way he puts it out there is like you only got $212 at risk. Yeah, maybe if you've got $2,000 to keep extending this progression, you know, 5, 6, 8 knockoffs. I just laid 3 numbers. But see, the thing is, it's a progressive lay. So when you lay the 30 from the initial start, all right, let's lay 3 numbers like this. So from the initial start, I've got $90 in the bed. I've got $90 out there in the bed. All right, when the first one gets knocked off, that 30's gone. So you have to go back and you have to progress it. You have to take another 48. You have to replace that one with 48 now instead of 30. So you're taking this one up to 48, the one that got knocked off, and you're adding 18 to this and 18 to this. So you got to add. So that second one, so the one knockoff, you're adding another $84 into there. I just added 48 and 18 and 18. That's 36 and 48, which is 84 more dollars I just added. All right, so I've invested 90, and then I've invested 84. That's 174 I've invested. All right, if I take my money, if they hit a 7 right here, with minusing all the VIGs, you're going to collect 23, 31 and 38, which is equals to $92, but you take the first 30 out because you had to, your $30 is gone. The $30 off the first is gone. You see, you ain't getting it back, even though you've invested the new 84, it's still out there. So, but the first $30 knockout is gone. You won't never get it back right here. You get it back in the VIG. So after you pay VIGs, you got a $92 profit, but you got to subtract that 30 out that you lost. So you've got a $62 profit. All right, when I move to step 3, which is 2 knockoffs, you have to do that kind of same thing again. Yeah, on my paper, I was just doing the same way I'm doing right here. I was just putting it out like I had 3 lays out there. I wasn't counting the 6. But for some reason, on my paper, when I said so this time let's now say the second knockoff comes, so this 48 gets gone. So the 30's got gone on one hand, and now 48's got gone on the second knockoff. So you had to come out of your bankroll, and you've got to replace that one with 72. You've got to replace that one with 72, and you've got to bump this one up 24 and this one up 24. So 24, 24, and 72 is 120. Okay, you follow me? You bump that one up 24, and that gives back $1. So now that one's at 72. And then once you bump this one up to 24, which is that, now this one's at 72. So they're all 3 at 72. You keep these even every time. That's 2 knockoffs. So now let's suppose, so now, so you've invested a 90 from the start, and then an 84, and then a 120. That's why I said you needed $300 bankroll to go to level 3. All right, so now, on my paper, I thought you should have collected 35 because you've got 72 out here, so it pays 36 minus $1 VIG, so it pays 35. This one, minus the VIG, it pays 46, and this one, minus the VIG, it pays 57. So when you start adding all that up, you get 35 plus 46 plus 57. That's 138. Was what you would have when this right here on this. All right, but this might be the difference. You've lost a 30, and you've lost a 48. So you subtract 30, and you subtract 48. That's gone because them got wiped off. And you've got, this says I should have netted $60. Now when I just figured it out, I only had 56, but I said I probably did some math wrong. But earlier on my profits, I said 78 for that step. And by the time I worked my way down to myself way down to level 5 doing that, I said I was supposed to have a $189 profit. But here's the thing. This would be the next level. So instead of having a $78 profit, we would only have a $60 profit. But let's just keep going right here. Let's say this next one got knocked off. Now there's another knockoff for 72. There's a $30 knockoff, there's a $48 knockoff, and then a $72 knockoff. So we have to put 108 out there. 108 on this one. We have to add 36 here and 36 here. So 36 is 72 plus 108. That's another 180. So let's go 36, 36, and then let's count what happens right here. So that's going to make 108 on everything. That's 108 on everything. That's 108 on all of them. Alright, so how much did you put in? You put in 90 from the start, 84 on the first knockoff, 120 on the second knockoff, and 180 that time. Alright, so this is what happens. You get a 108 pays $54 minus the VIG, so you got a $52 right here. 52. And on the 5 or 9, 108 pays 72 minus a $3 VIG, so it pays 69. And on this one, 108 pays 90 minus a $4 VIG, so it pays 86. All right, that's 207 minus. This is what you put in. You put in a 30. So you minus 30. And that puts you down to 177. Then you put in a 48 minus the 48. See, this is not what I did earlier. Minus the 48, that puts you down to 129. And then you put in one more time for what, 108? No, 72. Minus the 72. So I didn't do something right on my adding. So I said 207, subtract 30, subtract 48, and subtract 72. We got a $57 profit. So this one says $57 profit. I had 117 on there. I got to go to one more. I got to go to one more level to figure out what happened. So let's take this 108 out. That's another loss. And then we would actually put in 270. We'd give the dealer 270, and he would split it up. He would put 162 on this one. He would add 54 here, and he would add 54 here, which ultimately would turn each bet into, that's not the right increments. Everything is sitting at 162 now. Alright, so this time you would have to subtract 30, then subtract 48, then subtract 72, and then subtract 108. See, I wasn't doing that earlier. I was just subtracting 30, 30, 30, 30. I was subtracting the 30s, but I lost more than 30 at the time. Alright, so let's look at it now. The VIG would be 81, so at this level, 162 would pay 81 minus the $4 VIG, so it would pay 77, plus this one would pay 108 minus the $5 VIG, it'd pay 103, plus this one would pay 135, 162 would pay 135 minus $6 VIG, so it would pay 120, 129, 130. So minus a dollar because I put it in. So that's 309. All right, so that total is 309. Is what all the VIGs after the VIGs. We got to subtract 30. It'd be 279. Subtract the 48. It'd be 231. Subtract the 72. That would be at 159. Subtract the 108. And we're still sitting at $51 profit. Turned out perfect that time. Once I did it different than the way my sheet wrote, remember earlier when I come out and did all this, I had a $51 profit. But that's going all the way to level 5 to make 51 bucks. Man, that'd give me a damn headache. I don't know if I can follow that crap in no dang casino. That's $800 that I have on the table to win 51 bucks. I don't even know if it's worth all that. I mean, that's just at level 5. Clay, before you come on, I had to go up another one that I don't even have on a paper. I had to go all the way up to level 6. He knocked my place bets, he knocked my lead bets off 5 times. That's just 4 knockoffs. 1, 2, 3, 4. What happens when you get this one knocked off? Now there's 162 down. You have to add to 162, you got to go ahead and take it up to 240. So 240 minus 162. You got to add $78 there. You got to add 78, 78, and 240. So 78 plus 78 plus 240. 396. I got to come out of my bank road $396 more dollars now. So my bank road to get up to level 5, I need a little less than 800. I just said 800. But to go up to level 6, you need 1,200 because I need $4 more $100. I need 396 now to come out of my bank road to go up to level 6 now. So that's a $1,200 bank road. All right, what happens? So what happens is if I go up another 396, he's going to put 160. He's going to put 240. He's going to put 240 here. Everything's going to be 240. And that's where I was sitting at earlier. Everything was at 240. Let me get all this out of the way because everything's going to be sitting at 240 after this 5th level. I already know it. I've just now figured it out for you. Everything's going to be at 240. There's 225, 240. There's 240 for all 3 of them. All right, I don't have the VIGs figured out. But we know the 4 would pay 120 minus the VIG. So the 4 would pay 120 minus 6. So the 4 would pay 114. The 240 right here, 5 and 9, it pays 160 minus the VIG. So that's an $8 VIG. So it pays 152. The 6 and 8, 140 is 240 pays 200 minus the VIG. 200 is a $10 VIG. So it pays 190. So here's what you have to do. You have to add 114 plus 152 plus 190. That's your total that you're going to get, 456. But then you have to turn around and you have to subtract a 30. And then you got to subtract a 48. Then you just got to subtract a 72. Then you got to subtract a 108. And then you got to subtract a 162. And you're at a $36 profit. $36 profit. Woo! Man. So for $1,200 bankroll, if somebody knocks my lays off 5 times until they finally get to 7, I'm only going to net $36 profit to keep up with all this. Man, it would take $36 worth of tips just to get the dealers to keep up with all this. So I just don't really understand how this is supposed to be so profitable. I mean, yeah, eventually the 7's going to come. But what happens if he knocks my dang point off again? Now I've got $1,200 out there. Can I really afford to stop? Hell no. You can't afford to stop. You got to keep going. That's why I told him a week or so back, I said, yeah, I kind of get it. But within 3 or 4 knockoffs, man, I got a whole $1,000 out there. And he's like, no, something ain't right. You ain't doing something right. And I'm like, how not? If you're progressing everything, every row, how not? Well, you only got so much at risk. True enough, you only got 1 at risk. And when the 7 finally does come, you're going to make a profit. But you got to have a big bankroll. I mean, what happens if he knocks my dang point off again? Am I really finna walk away from the casino $1,200 down? Heck no. I'm finna have to pull out another 5 or 6 or 700 to buy back in, to get another lay bet. And then what happens if he knocks that off 1 more time? I'm gonna have to get another 700, 800 out to get another lay bet. To keep progressing these suckers, I might be $3,000 into this game to make a $31 profit, $25 profit. That's what I'm getting at. I think this is definitely somewhere down the line, the 7's coming, so you're gonna hit. Now, for this strategy, what I have to say for this strategy, the 7 is coming, and you would hope that you get it on a come out roll. Then that way, boom, you don't have to keep upping. All you're going to do from the initial point is put 30, 30, and 30 out there. He even, in his post, he even said you know, when you have a substantial bankroll and you've built from this might be a slow go. This might be one of them kind of deals to where, let me go in the casino with $300, and if I can get lucky on shooter number 1 with 30, 30, 30 with a $90 investment, and he comes out with a 7 right off the bat, or come out 7, boom. Now I've taken my 90, 90, and 90, and now immediately I'm going to get 15 for the 410. I'm going to get 20, or I'm going to get 14 minus for the VIG being subtracted. I'm going to get 19 for this one. I'm going to get 24 for that one. So immediately, 7 on the come out, boom, I net $57. So if you can get that to happen, or you can have one bet gets knocked off and you replace it, and then the 7 comes, you know. But once you got to start going into this thing, to this progressing up to levels 3, 4, especially 5 and 6, because on level 5 you got to have $800, and I just run through it. On level 6 you got to have an additional $396, so you got to have $1,200. Level 7 you would have to have more than $396. You'd have to probably have 6 more hundred. So level 7 you need an $1,800 bankroll. And then in order to probably go to level 8, you've probably got to have more like 2,500. And then if you needed it to go to level 9, you probably better have about 3,500. That's just to go through 8 knockoffs. And like I said, ultimately, what you would like to see is come out rows hit the 7 or 0.7 ounce. That's what this would probably work for. But look, this is on a $30 starting level. He's talking about a $60. And he even talked about laying each number for $300. Can you imagine laying each number for $300? I'm already talking about got to have a $1,200 bankroll just to go to level 6. And I'm only laying them at $30 to start with. If you're progressing from $300, that's 10 times that much. So I'm talking about having to have a $1,200 bankroll to make it to level 6 on $30. Multiply that times 10, you're going to have $120,000. I'm doing something wrong. I got to be. I'm not understanding this. I'm not understanding, or I'm doing something wrong one. So I don't know. I sent it back to him after I wrote it out and asked him, did that look right? But apparently I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something bad wrong. So I don't know. I don't know what I got going on right here. But did I write them numbers down? So yeah. So after, if you can get a 7 on the come out or a 0.7 out, you will net $57 profit. If you can get one with just a 1 knockoff, you will make a $62 profit. If you have to ante back up because of 2 knockoffs, you're going to make a $60 profit. If you have to ante back up because of 3 knockoffs, you're going to make a $57 profit. And if you have to ante back up because of 4 knockoffs, you're going to make an $81 profit. And if you go into it and ante back up after 5 knockoffs, you're only going to make a $36 profit. So what is that telling me? What that's telling me is the longer it goes, the less you're going to make, because you've got a lot of money out here. That's 2 logical reasons here. You've got a lot of money out here, so it's going to net you a lot, so you're going to pay a lot in VIG. You see, $240 on a 4 or 10 is going to net you $120, so you're going to have to pay $6 of VIG. So a lot of your profits are getting eat up in VIGs. And the longer you go, and that's what I'm saying, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've asked and reached out to try to help me explain this. I've been on the Discord, I've been in the chat, I've been trying to figure out how else does it work? Because reading what he's typed up in the Discord and what he says right here, yeah, the cheese. Appreciate you being here, my friend. And yeah, that's what I said a while ago, trying to figure all this out. Man, the stress on trying to keep up with all this crap will run me crazy. It ain't even worth $36 profit. And that's what I said a while ago. A $36 profit after 6 levels, man, that needs to go to the dealers for having to keep up with all that bull crap. So I just don't even really see. Now, on a short roll table where you getting 0.7 ounce, come out 7s and 0.7 ounce back to back, 2 or 3 rows and a 7, this might be very profitable very quick. Because if you can get it on the first row, you're going to make $57. If you get a 7 on the come out. If you get a 0.7 out, you're going to make $57. If you have to replace one come out, you're going to end up with a profit of $62. Just because you had to up them bets. Alright, so if you go on level 1, you're going to make 57. If you go on level 2, you're going to make 62. This is profits. And on level 3, it starts easing back down. It goes to 60. And then if you go to level 4, it even goes even further. Level 4 is going to net you only 57. So it starts going down again. And then if you go to level 5, you're only going to net 51 because of the VIGs. And then if you have to go to level 6, which is going to cost you $1,200 bankroll to get to level 6, you're going to get your money back when the 7 shows. But you're going to get your money back and you're only going to get a $36 profit. That's to start with a $1,200 bankroll to get to level 6. That's getting your lay bet knocked off 5 times. And I did 2 different, just picking up and random rolling, and I hit, in 2 different sessions I made it to level 5, in one session I made it to level 6. Random rolling. I didn't have no come out 7, I didn't have no 0.7 out. The very first session I tried it, I made it to level 2. So I netted a $62 profit right off the bat. Then the very next session I tried it, I went all the way to level 6. And I'm like, this right here is expensive. Now, we all know that the 7 is eventually coming. No doubt about it. It's coming. How long can you withstand keeping on pressing those, keep on replacing that lay, and keep on pressing the other 2 lays evenly until the 7 shows and you were able to collect it all back and then get a profit? But you see, the longer it goes, bar the first one, because on the first one, I mean, from level 1 to level 2, it increases, but then after level 2, it starts decreasing all the way through. So if you had to go to level 7, which I don't have worked out yet, level 8 or level 9, I feel like you're going to have $600 more to go from level 5. You're going to have $400 more to go from level 5 to 6. Because I've already demonstrated that you need $396 more to bump the lays back up. But to go from level 6 to 7, I think you would need an additional 600 or even possibly 7. So I say at least 6. So that's why I said 1,800, but it probably wouldn't be no bad idea to have 2,000 just to go to level 7. Level 8, you're probably going to need 3,000. Level 9, you're probably going to need like 4,500. Level 10, you're probably going to need about 7,000. And he's saying with a $6,000 bankroll, you can do your initial buy-ins for not $30, but for 300s. So your initial lays will be 300. 300, 300, 300. Can you see how expensive this will get real quick? I'm only starting with 30, 30, 30. He's saying with a $6,000 bankroll, you can start laying for 300 each. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm apparently doing something terribly wrong. I don't get it. I mean, I know the payback is more than what you're putting out, but every time your VIG is eating up into that profit just a little. I'm trying to understand this. That's why I wanted to do it here on the page so that maybe somebody could try to help me understand this. Because definitely on a you walk into a casino with $200-300 and you get to a shooter that knocks your legs off 2 or 3 times. Well, guess what? You do. You gone. You can kiss it goodbye because ain't no. If you ain't got, I would say the way I'm looking at it, it would be safe not to walk into the casino unless you got $2 grand playing it at the $30 level. At least allow yourself to go up to level 7. Because by the time you get to level 7, that means there's 6 lays been knocked off, and you're only playing 3 lays at the time. So for 6 of them to get knocked off, it would take quite a roller to knock 6 lays off. It'd be more like a sharpshooter knocking 6 lay bets off when you've only got 3 up there. If you had the whole back wall laid, I could see they might knock 6 of them off. If you laid them and then you replaced them every time, you might get 6 knocked off. But when you're only laying half of the box numbers, I couldn't. To get 6 of them knocked off and take yourself to level 7, I think you need $2,000. And then what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if you go all the way to level 7? You ain't gonna net but $25. You're gonna get all your money back. You're gonna go through all that stress, all that headache, keeping up with all that money. Dealers are gonna do all that work for you to net $25. I mean, ultimately, it might be the best way to go because the next shooter might end up doing 7 on a come out. Like that right there. Boom, 7 on a come out. But also what I was saying was, hey, I'm practice shooting. Okay, so she says you're doing it right. The strategy depends on shooters going out within a few rows. We have all been on cold tables where this might be okay until someone takes you to level 7. Okay, so I appreciate you telling me that because this was my main concern. Am I doing it right? That was my main concern because to me, all I said last week was, man, I'm not. I had $1,000 bankroll, and within just a couple of knockoffs, I already had the majority of my bankroll on the table. And he said, "Oh no, you shouldn't be like that. You're only like at $66 at risk. $31 is all you're gonna lose at the time." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't do something right then." Okay, so we are definitely basing it on the shooters going short rows. But here's the thing: what happens when a shooter starts knocking it off? Where do you put the stopping point? Where do you consider, I don't want to go but to level 2, and then I'm going to try it again on next shooter and he gets me to level 2, then I try it again on next shooter and he gets me to level 2. Where do you draw the line and say, okay, as soon as I cut my bets off and quit going to level 3 or 4, that's when the shooter hits the 7. So I lost out because I didn't want to go any further. That's why I say it might be a good idea if you got about $2,000 and you can be prepared to go to level 7. But if you get on the table and 2 or 3 shooters, 2 out of the first 3 or 4 shooters takes you to level 7, you might better exit that game before one of them makes it to level 8 and you ain't got enough money to re-up. But if you get on a table and you see where shooters are getting only to level 1 or 2, yeah, this might be the greatest strategy. And I think this strategy ultimately works. My only thing is you have to have a big enough bankroll to withstand that storm. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, the strategy probably works for sure because we all know that 7 is eventually coming. The thing that could kill you if you had enough money for it, if you ended up putting max table limit bets out there, who's got money like that? But I'm just saying, that would be where it could kill you. It'd be like one of them martingale strategies where it just keeps progressing. Eventually, we know the 7's coming, so I'm going to keep throwing money at it till the 7 gets there. When the 7 hits, I get all my money back in a small profit. But what happens if I went far enough up, if I had deep enough pockets that I had to lay all across the 3 bets for max table limits, and then he knocked me off again? Well, we know if that was to happen, we definitely waited too long for a shooter. But the thing is, like I said, when do you call it off? When do you quit? And as I said from the start from this video, there is no guaranteed winning strategy in craps. Every strategy can and will lose. You just have to have intuition, you have to have a little bit of luck, and you have to have some gut feelings. You have to just, you have to catch the trends. And that's the thing. You have to catch the trends of what's happening at the table. You see these short rows, boom, this strategy right here works. So that first row would have been a 7, and then we come right back with a 4. So who knows if we'd had money laying on the 4 or the 10, but let's just say that was one knockoff. We're going to say the 4, the 5, and the 6. So that was one knockoff. Now we're on the 5, 6, and 10. There's aces, so they don't hurt us. We're on 5, 6, and 10 right now. There's an 8. We're not on the 8. That don't hurt us. There's a 6, so that knocked us off. That's knockoff number 2. So now we're on the 5, 8, and 10. There's aces. That don't hurt us. 5, 8, and 10. That's what we're on. There's a 4. That don't hurt us. We're on the 5, 8, and 10. And this random roller, and there's a 7. So we've had 2 knockoffs, and so we've had to re-up twice, so we would beat a level 3. And that was a good random shooter. I mean, he hit about 5, 6, 7 shots. That's probably normal. That's average. All right, Clay. The blenders are better for the reward risk. The blender, yeah. I fool with the blender some. The blender takes some grinding, so you might be at the table for a while. So I guess really the thing is, ultimately what I'm trying to do is get this in my mind. I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. That way, if I get to a table and it's choppy and cold, like I seen last Saturday night, these shooters 3 or 4 rows and they out 2 or 3 rows, some 7 outs, some only 7 come outs. I wanted something that I could, have something in Jacob calls the toolbox. So basically that's all I'm doing here. A lot of times I'm practicing shooting. But guess what? At the 8-man table, you're shooting 1 out of 8 throws. So the other 7 rows, what are you gonna do? Sit here and play nothing? I tell you what I did Saturday night. I was playing the Iron Cross a time or 2, but I was playing 44 inside a lot of times, and I was getting whacked. I'd get 1 or 2 hits and whack, 7 out. I'm like, damn, that happened several times. I bet I lost $200-300 on random rollers just waiting for the dice to get to me. Trying not to bet big, so I was just only doing like the 6 and 8. So I said, well, let me do a don't for 50. And then play 44 inside for 2 or 3 hits. Well, dang, he'd come out and hit the 7 on the come out, take my down away. I'd be like, you son of a gun. So I just, sometimes you just get into them circumstances. But anyway, I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, at the table when you got 7 other rollers, you wait for the dice to get back down to you. I guess the blender could be the one to play. I didn't even play it. I played a form of I played another strategy to where I was doing 2 don'ts and 1 do at all times. So basically what I do, I might put 10 on the do, 10 on the don't. All right, when the point got established, say it's a 5, I'd run me a 10 through the don't again. Let's say it moved up to the 6. All right, now I take 10 and I put it on the come bet. I'm hoping it goes like to the 4. I don't want it to hit neither one of them don'ts. So the 4, 8, 9, or 10. Let's say it went to a 9. All right, the next. So now I got a don't here, and a do there. So I need to get a second do. So I do another come bet. I really hope it hits that 9, but let's just say it hits that 10. All right, now I got 2 don'ts and 2 do's. Now what I do, I'd run it through the don't again. ultimately what I'm hoping that don't does is knock off one of them dues. That way it could replace that due, and they could give me that down plus pay me for that. That's what I was trying to do. But what was happening with me, my don'ts, a lot of times, instead of hitting the dues, they were coming up in there and hitting the don't bets. Then they'd come down there and hit the 5. So we'd hit the 5 and I'd lose this. So I'd have don'ts up there and I'd have dues up there. And then I'd be like, well, let me swap to the pass line. And he might get his point for a 4 or whatever. Or a lot of times he might re-hit the 5, so it'd knock that don't down. So now I got back a 5, so now I'm like, I got 1 don't, 3 dues, so I need to go back to a don't and hit the 7. So I'd lose this one, I'd lose this one, I'd lose this one, and I'd lose this one, and I'd only win that one. So I'm like, well, ain't this about a son of a gun? So it was just in one of the circumstances that night that I just couldn't figure out the right way. So I just got to where I would just stand there and not even play at all. But the issue was I wanted to play the all tall small. I wanted to play 2-1-2 on all shooters, but they wouldn't let me play it unless I put a pass line up. They said I had to put a pass line up to play. I had to do a do or a don't to play the all tall small. They wouldn't let me do a doey don't. They wouldn't let me do that to play the all tall small. They said I had to pick one of the two. I couldn't even just play the all tall. I couldn't even just play all tall small and put something like in the field. They said I had to use the pass line. I said, well, damn, this sucks. So I got to where I just would stand around and I wouldn't even shoot. I mean, I wouldn't even play it. For 2 or 3 or 4 shooters, a lot of times I'd wait till the dice get back around to me. But what the problem was, when I set out a shooter, he'd get hot. He'd be hitting. He'd hit the 5, he'd hit the 8, he'd hit the 9, he'd hit the 6, he'd hit the 5, he'd hit the 8, and I'm like, man, I'm messing all these rows. And he'd get hot, and then I'd be like, son of a gun, if I jump on him now, he's done had a good 7, 8, 10, 12 rows, and now he's gonna lose out. So I waited out. Well, he'd keep hitting, then finally he'd 7 out, and the next shooter would come up, and I'd be like, well, I ain't gonna mess out this time. Then he'd whack me when I get back in. So I was like, man, every single thing I'd try won't work. So I started getting to where I would just wait till I get the dice. And by all this time, I done got gun shy. I got a little gun shy because I ain't been able to hit. So I would throw 5-5-5 up for ATS. I'd get a $10 pass line. I wouldn't do nothing else. That's just the way I started. ATS and $10 pass line. And I'd roll. I'd get a point established of 9. Now I'm thinking, all right, I'm finna hit this sucker. I feel good, I'm finna hit. So I'd throw 110 up there or maybe 44 inside or whatever. And I'd get several hits. And then before I could ever hit a small or a tall, and done got nervous at the table a little bit, I wouldn't even be pressing my bets, and next thing I know, 7 out. A lot of times I had 44 inside that the last time I rode, and I bet I hit that 9 6 times, 8 times. Back to back. I'm talking about straight. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, like 6 straight rows in a row. And dude beside me, he was like, man, you need to be pressing that mug. I wasn't pressing it. I was just taking the $14 hit and racking. Taking a $14 hit and racking. There's a 9, 5, and a 6 right there. 3 rows in a row. Three rows in a row. 9, 5, and 6. Not playing nothing but pass line and ATS. There's a 7. Good thing. But anyway, no practice rolling today. Let me see what you're saying, Chief. You was doing a similar routing using the Crouch Hawaii's easy strategy with 18 on the 6 and 8, $2 hopping 5s, and 10 in the field. You get paid on any number, and you get out after 3 hits, grinding it out. Yeah, that's smart. hopping the fives. You hopping the five. You playing 10 in the field. All right, let me see what you're saying. You said 18 on the 6 and 8. Let me see if I can get this. 18 on the 6 and the 8. All right, 18 on the 6 and the 8. Let me get this out of my way. Because I will straighten all this up in a minute. I'm going to see what you're talking about here. 18 on the 6 and the 8. You're playing 10 in the field. You're hopping the 5 for $2. All right, $2 on the 5, so it's 2 of them, right? So that's $4 a pop. 2, 3, and the 4, 1. So that's $4 a pop. All right, so you're hopping the 5s every row. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, if you get to 4, you lose them, but they give you 10. You re-up that, so they give you 6. All right. All right, let's see first. You got 18, 36, 46. You got $50 up. All right, $50 up. So what happens on the 7? $50 gone. So let's just look at it this way. Let's say you hit the 3, the 4. If you hit any number, the 5s are gone. All right. Unless you hit the hopping 5s, then it pays you 15. But then you got to re-up this 10. So you're only making 5 when the 5s. When the 5 hits, you're only making 5. When any number other than the 5 hits, other than the 2 and 12, the 2 and 12 you'll make 20. Subtract that 4. So you'd make 16 on the 2 or 12. Any other number in the field, you're only making 6. The 6 and the 8, you're only making 4. So you could either be making 6. You could either be making 5 if the 5 comes, because you get paid $2 times 15. You get paid 30. Okay, you get paid 30 minus 15. 30 minus 2 for the other 5, so that's a 28. Minus that 10, you get 18. So you get 18 there. So you get 18, you get paid 18 on a 5. A 2 or a 12, you'd get paid 20 minus the 4, so you get 16. Let's see if I got this right. So a 2 or a 12, you get 16. A 5, you get 18. And this is leaving bets up every time. Okay, so you take the first hit from the field and go ahead and place bet to 5. You quit hopping them. You quit hopping them after that, or is this a hopping every time? All right. If the 6 or 8 wins, all right. So if the 4 wins, you're gonna get paid 10. If the 4, 9, 10, 11 wins, the 3, 4, 9, 10, or 11 wins, you're gonna get paid 10 minus that 6. I mean that 4, so you're gonna get paid 6. And so if the 12 wins or the 5 wins, if the 2 or 12 wins, you're going to be getting paid 16. If the 5s, either one of the hopping 5s, you're going to be making a profit of 18. And if any other field number, the 3, 4, 9, 10, or 11 hits, you're going to be making a profit of $6 a hit. Or you're going to be getting paid $6. If the 6 or 8 hits, they're going to pay you 21, but you got to replace this 10. And you got to replace that 4. So you got to replace 14, so you're going to be bringing in 7. So this is what you're going to be bringing in on every single row. You can either be bringing in 6, 7, 16, or 18. Every single row. Midnight Madness. What's up, my friend? I was actually trying to figure out how to do all these lay bets that Andrew keeps talking about. Laying 3 numbers, laying the back wall, and progressing. I made me out a chart trying to figure out how these bets paid. Because what was throwing me off was I'm taking, to get to level 6, to get to level 5, you got to have an $800 bankroll. And once you, and that's getting your lay bets knocked off 4 times to be at level 5. If they got knocked off 5 times, you'd be at level 6. And on level 6, you got to have $1,200 bankroll. But the issue was, this is a progressive. This is a progressive lay bets. So you have to keep upping them every roll. You have to keep replacing them, and you have to up the other 2 that didn't get knocked off. So the issue was within, if you get them knocked off 5 times, that's going to progress you up to level 6, which you have to have a $1,200 bankroll. And then if the 7 comes, you're only netting a profit of, what did I say that was? $36. So that's what I was trying to figure out, was how all that lay strategy works. Now, true enough, when the 7 comes, you're getting paid. It's just, can you catch the table at the right time with that lay strategy? That where you get to come out 7s, you get to 0.7 outs. That's really what you're looking for, because you're only starting with. So let me get back to this so I can clear this board. So then the Cheese said that he plays a similar strategy to what we was talking about a grinding strategy. He puts on the 6 and 8, $18. He puts $10 in the field, and he hops the 5s for $2 each. So I was trying to figure out the payouts. So if the 5s hit, you're gonna get paid $30. You gotta subtract the other 5, so that's the $28. You gotta subtract this 10 out, so you're gonna make $18 on that roll. You got 50 invested, so you're gonna have to have 2 or 3 hits. And if you got 2 or 3 hits of 5s back to back to back, you would have 18 3 times. That'd be 54. So you would have to have 3 5s. If you're 2 or 12 hits, it's going to pay you 20 for double the bubble. But you're going to have to replace that 4, so you're going to walk it. It's going to pay you 16. If a 3, 4, 9, 10, or 11 hits, it's going to pay you 10. But you have to re-up for them 5s, which is $4 more. So you're only going to have a $6 pay. And then if a 6 or an 8 wins, it's going to pay you 21. But you've got to re-up the 10 and re-up the 4. So you're only going to have $7. So I was just looking, how many hits would it take? You've got $50 invested on the board from the initial start. How many hits does it take? Because what happens? 0.7 out, you are screwed. There's $50 gone, 0.7 out. That's all I was seeing. Once he said that's what he does, I just wanted to see what it does. All right, so now, okay, Chi says he don't have the room in the chat window to type out the whole easy strategy from the Krauts. Clay is correct. Okay, so I have to go and check that out. Hey, what's up, Patty? I have to go check that whole thing out. I was just trying to see when you said it's similar to this. I just wanted to see in my mind how it plays right here. Because Mike could do something with this right here. If you want to go ahead and take a chance on, say, lay the 4 for, lay the 4 for 80. Something like that. Lay the 4 for 80. And then do this. Because now, well, I know the 4 here is going to knock you off, but you'll get paid for it here. But if the 7 comes quick, you're going to get a lot of your 50 back. So if you can get, let's just say 1 or 2 hits off of this, and you might pull that lay down. I don't know. It's just all the trends. I guess it's just all the trends. I guess, so, one hot shooter can kill you. Yeah, one hot shooter could kill you on what one, Midnight Madness? On the lay bets? Because one hot shooter could probably make you a ton right here. One hot shooter on this strategy right here that the Cheese just said, with just these bets right here, this is just the payout with a pretty much similar to close to an iron cross, except instead of having the 5 out here as a place bet, you've got to top it for $4. So instead of having 10 out there every time like this for a full iron cross, you're just using $4 and you're hopping them. Because nearly about every time, well, every time you'd have to re-up them $4, whether you hit the 5 or not. So a good hot shooter you could probably win it quite a bit here. But a hot shooter on that lay bets would smoke you, because I went through. I had to go all the way up to level 6 a while ago, and it was a level 5. I had a little less than 800 invested, and then to make it one more knockoff, I had to invest another 396. Yep. So Midnight Madness. You're right. One hot shooter will kill you. The Cheese strategy right here, I'm going to probably give this a try. I like this idea. I've never thought about the iron cross in this form with hot bets instead of just playing it straight out. But you still have, you're still in the dilemma right here with this $50 up of 0.7 out. And I've done it many nights. Not me shooting, but me sitting around at the table waiting for the dice to get back to me. I play this iron cross right here. No hop in it. Just a straight out iron cross. That version right there. $10 in the field with that in the... Actually, not even that. I'll be down to that sometimes. 44 out there. 10, 20, 30, 44 out there. Even that 44 sometimes gets you burned, because the first payout, say it's a 6. He takes your 10 and he gives you 14. So what you do? You replace that 10. You've got $4. That's the first hit. The very next hit, 7 out, boom. 44 gone, you 44 in the hole. That happens 3 or 4 times, you already down 100, 150, 120, whatever it is. Quick. So I've tried to turn that around to, instead of doing it that way, I've tried to turn it around instead of playing it that way. Go ahead and play it as something like $50 $50 pass. Don't pass. What happens? 7 on come out. Boom. You know, I've seen all kind of things. I'm sure everybody has. Anyway, it's all kind of things. I was just trying to get in my mind how that lay bet works. I mean, how those bets work. And if you find a table that is short and cold, that 30-30-30 lay bet, 3 numbers and 7 out, just like that right there, come out 7, would be great. That would be a quick $57 profit to you off of the 30-30-30 lays. Just like that. And you rinse and repeat. And if you can get 2 or 3 of them in a row, you've already got a $100, $150 profit. And at that point in time, you know, you might think about going to something different, or you might just keep trying. Alright, 30 on the 6 and 8, 35 in the field, and 25 on the 5. Yeah, but what happens Midnight Madness when that 7 shows up, especially on them short tables, especially if you're waiting to get the dice. When I get the dice, I don't really have a bad a dark side strategy. I would consider doing a $10 pass, a $25 ATS, getting a point established, and let's say it hit a 9, and then we did a $50 don't before we ever put any place bets out. Alright, if we can get that don't to make it through, and say it passes to the 5, now you've got $50 protected on the 7, you got the 25 ATS working, then you might want to go ahead and put the other four numbers out there, which is the 4, the 6, the 8, and the 10. You know, I've considered doing something to that. You know, put your 9 right there. So you got 10, 20, 30, 40. You got 54 up there, but you've got a $50 dump. So you've really got a lot of all the numbers covered now, except for the 5. You don't want to see it. So I guess at that point in time, to protect that 50, why couldn't you hop the 5, $6 at hop the 5 every reel for $6? How about that? That might be pretty decent. Just a thought. Oh yeah, Midnight Madness, absolutely. I was just, yeah, if I'm shooting, no doubt, with the trigger strategy. But I'm talking about when you're standing at the table, a full table, and you've got to wait for the other 7 shooters before the dice get back to you. What do? Do you just stand there and twiddle your thumbs? That's kind of, I get impatient doing that. I want to play. You know, I know sometimes you don't, a lot of people say they don't only bet on themselves. But I'm trying to figure out a way to keep participating in the game and not just sitting there, especially if the table's full and it's taking a while. So how about that? $25 ATS. You make you got a $10 pass and a $25 ATS. From the initial start, that's all you're playing. You get a point established, and then you run a $50 dump through there. And if it can make it onto a point, then you lay the other 4 numbers. I mean, not lay them, but you place the other 4 numbers, and you put money behind your odds. And you're going to hop whatever your place bets are. I mean, whatever your dump is. That way, if I do hit that 5 and knock this 50 down, boom, I'm going to get 45 of it back right there off of that place, off that lay bet. All right, but let's say the 6 comes. All right, it's going to pay me 14, but I've got to replace that 6, so I'm only going to get 8. I'm only going to get 8, but I'm still protected. I'm still protected because the 5, everything, I'm still protected. So if the 5 comes, I'm getting most of my majority of my 50 back right there. If the 7 comes, I'm getting my money back right there. So I'm still protected right here. So I can go ahead and I can press one number at a time. All right, so now let's say the 8 comes. Same scenario. 8 comes, it's going to pay me 14, but it's got to replace that. I got to keep that 6 up, so it's only going to pay me 8. So go ahead and bump that 8. Got $2. I'm still protected. I'm still protected because the 7 comes, I'm getting 50. That's going to kind of wash. If the 5 comes, I'm going to lose that 50, but I'm going to get 45 right there, so that's still kind of a wash. And if any of these other numbers come, yeah, it's hard to sit and wait. But I'm thinking something along these lines. Since you told me something about them hop bets that I never really utilized those hops, I'm kind of seeing a different something right here. Now this is all dependent that you can get a point made and then you can get a don't pass through. You know, you don't even necessarily have to play a don't. You can just lay it. But laying it, you have to put more money on the hops is going to limit you. So you do really need to run it through the don't, but a lot of times that don't gets whacked. So you could actually hedge that don't to make your don't pass through. If you're trying to pass a don't through, you've got to put, what, $3 up on each 7 and a $3 yo. So you got to, in order to pass that 50 through, you got to put 12 in. So how many rows is it going to take to make that 12 up? Do you want to do that? I mean, that's house advantage. You're giving all that percentages away. But, or you just want to take the chance on the don't on that 50. I mean, sometimes, you know, if you're shooting and you got confidence that you can do 2 shots at least, your very first shot is to get the point established. You only got the place lined up. There's an 8. So the point will be established at an 8. My very next shot, I don't have anything working except the ATS and the pass line. My very next shot is when I'm going to run it through the don't. So I'm pretty confident at a table that I'm not going to 0.7 out. Pretty confident at the table that I can run that thing through. And look at that, boom, I would have got knocked out. See, my 50 would have just lost, and I lost my $10 pass, and I lost my $25 ATS. But that don't generally happen. I don't hardly do 0.7 outs. say the next time. Get the dice back. We got a 7 on the come out, so ATS would be down, but we went on the front line. So we'd still have to throw 15 out there to get the ATS back up. So basically, that's still kind of a loser, even though it's a front line 7. Next come out. Ace 3 4. So now we got a point established. We got a 4. Point will be a 4. Now we're going to put 50 on the dome. I think this is what I'm going to try. This is just different alternatives to stuff I already. Alright, so now I'm running the 50 through the dome. We got a 2 3 5, so our 50 goes on the 5 now. So now that we've got a point established and we've got a $50 on the dome on the 5, now we can hop the 5 for the $3 each. That protects that 50 almost, not exactly, but then we can lay all these rest of these numbers. We not lay on, but place bet the 6, 8, 9, and 10 because the point's actually 4. So this 10 would be on the 9. So that was where we'd have a setup right there. That's where we'd be sitting right now. So right now at this point in time, we would have 50 and 10, 20, 30, 40. Actually, it wouldn't be that high to start out with. It would only be that much. So we'd start out with 44 here, 50, that's 94, 104, 114, and 6 is 120, and the 25. So we got $145 up. We've hit the 4 and the 5. That's where we'd be at right now, $145. If we hit the 7, we're going to lose this, but we're going to get the majority of, we're going to get a lot of it back right there. So we're going to get that 50 back and another 50 back. So we'd have 100, so we'd be down 44. But if we can get 2 or 3 hits, if we can just get 2 or 3 hits, we can't. See, there's the 7. So right there immediately, we'd lose these 5s, we'd lose that $25 ATS, we'd lose here, here, and all the place bets, and we'd get 100 back. So they'd give us our 50, and they'd give us a 50 for the lay bet. So we'd get 100 back of our 144. So that would be, kind of sucky. But that would be not near as bad. No, I was just saying, if I was, that was something I was thinking that I could try. I haven't done that. Normally whenever I shoot, I just do place bets. I don't even run it through a dome pump. I just run place bets out there. And usually, let's say my point's a 6. I'm going to do this. That's my place bets from the start. And I go ahead and get that quarter of the 6. So it's generally almost like a 110 on the inside. Plus I've got a $10 pass line and $25 ATS. That's how it goes. So if I get a 7 out real soon, I'm finna lose a lot more than I just lost on that last roll when I was trying that DC. Alright, so what is midnight? Let me look back up here for a minute. What are you saying about, I lost the track of some of these. Okay, if you want to avoid the 7, play the 5, 9, and 1. Patty says, great, Clay, once I'm back from vacation. Okay, the hard way strategy. Yeah. Right, Midnight Madness. It's hard. Okay, so she says it's hard to sit and wait. Yeah, it's hard to sit and wait, no doubt. Double the bet with each win. Yep. Play down now is where VDC comes in. Yeah. You're right, Clay, where VDC comes in. And I've got that stuff right here too. So I've got that stuff right here too. So this is something else that I'm starting to work on. But I'm not there with it yet. So, I'm trying to figure out what Andrew said a couple weeks ago about this laying the back wall and progressing it, or laying 3 numbers and progressing them. Because VDC talked about laying the back wall too. His might not have been a progressive lay, when it gets knocked down. But he is, yeah. So VDC definitely comes into this, and I'm definitely working on. Don't believe I'm not. I'm definitely tracking my rows, and I'm trying to see trends, and I'm starting to watch that. I got sheets out here from all type of different places. I got all of Midnight Madness stuff laying out here. Everything that he's sending me, I'm putting that stuff out and keeping it and reading into it and figuring it out. And as soon as I get on these tables, on this table, I'll be practicing this stuff. Because as Jacob says, you got to build your toolbox. You got to have different tools for different situations. No situation is going to be a guaranteed profit, never. So you got to be ready. The first strategy you ever seen was exactly like what? Like the one I was just showing you, putting a dome up there and then running all, doing a pass line and then a dome and then getting all your place bets up. Yep, I think that possibly could work because you're basically protecting any dome. If you can get it to pass through the dome comb, if you can get it to establish, you're going to protect it with the hotbeds. Now, if you get on something like the 8, you got 3 ways that you have to start. You got 3 ways you got to start protecting a 6 or an 8. You know, you got the 2 hard ways, and then you got the other 2 ways. So you wouldn't actually necessarily have to hop them all every time. You could throw, in order to protect the $50 hard way 8, look, the 8's going to pay you 9-1, so you could just put a 5 on the hard way 8, and it's up. You don't have to keep throwing it up. But then you can take the 3 on the other 2 8s, and that works pretty much the same way with the 6. When you start getting into the 4 and the 10, if the don't moves to them, you don't even necessarily have to hedge on those. I mean, you can if you want to for the 6-4, and then you could actually hop the 5-5 every time, and it would pay a lot more. Or you could just throw maybe $7 on the hard, and that works the same way with the 2. You could hop them every time to get 30-1, and if you was going to do that, you might just want to go to $2 instead of 3, and that way it costs you $5 for every hop. For every row, it's going to cost you 5 to hop if you got a don't come passing through the 4 or 10. You know, I really have not utilized these hop bets at all. And that's my fault for having them on the table and not thinking this through and seeing how these bets could actually generate something off of this board. Even if it costs 5 every single row to hop that 4. If I'm getting paid out here every single row, what does it matter if I'm having to throw 5 of them back up to hop them 4s? Eventually that 4's coming. And when that hard 4 comes and I've hopped it for 2, it's going to pay me $60. If that 5 hits right now, that's only going to pay me $35. But for $2 hopping that 4, it's going to pay me $60. So if I'm hopping the hard, the 2-2 and the 3-1, it's $5 every time. Okay, so say the 5 hits right now, pays me $35. I got to give the dealer back 5 for the hop. $30 profit. Say the very next row, say the 8 hits, pays $35. Boom, give the dealer back $5. So I'm still profiting $30. Now let's say that hard 4 happens to show up. Boom. You know, might have just now kind of realized something that I haven't known, that I should have known all along. Hotbeds. BDC is laying the back wall for 30 to win 120. After the second throw, it comes down, and then he lays the lost number. Less at risk for 2 rows laying the wall than a lay. Right. Yeah, I understand he's only laying it for, and that's what I said. The difference in VDC's laying the back wall and Andrews is VDC's is only, like you said, it's only like for 1 or 2 rows. And Andrews is more like the full lay strategy. You know, as long as you don't have a hot shooter up here who's knocking you down over and over and over. If you got these short, choppy tables, these short, cold, choppy tables, that's Andrew's strategy. It's a progressive lay, though. It's progressive. So every time one gets knocked down, you have to re-up that one and go 1.5 times more, and then up the other 2 that didn't get knocked down up to what you just did. So you're like progressing up quickly. By the time you get to level 7, you better have a $1,200. That's what it's going to take you to progress up. And when I did that the other day, he said the way I explained it to him, I took it that I did something wrong because it progressed so quickly. But yeah, so VDC stuff works, but I don't have a doubt in my mind that VDC stuff works for him. I don't have a doubt in my mind that Andrew's stuff works for him because they've developed these skills and they've developed this knowledge over time. Me, I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, they're telling me things to do, but I'm still trying to have to figure out how it works for them because I'm more of a visual person. I need to see it and practice it and see how it plays and see how it works for me to get it. They can write it down in all them texts and things all they want, but it's not. It don't make. It gets too. I have to sit here and try it and practice it. That's the difference. I have to sit here and practice it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But now, as the cheese just rolled up to me earlier on this lace stuff, that's opened my eyes to a whole avenue of other possibilities, I guess I could say. Now, with 3 hours worth of video, and I haven't even shot and practiced any, I get to get off of here now and go to work. So ain't that great? It's not actually work. I have to go. I have to go do some. I have to go to the hardware store, basically Home Depot, because one of my projects coming up, like that, I need to really be starting like tomorrow or Thursday for sure. I have to go get some materials for us. It's a project for my wife's daycare. And I've got all the walls and everything put in a couple of weeks back, and I was only waiting on the air conditioner man to show up so he could get all the duct work run because he couldn't be up on top of this what I'm putting in. So he had to get the duct work run before I put the drop ceiling in. So now today, she's closing. She's actually closed 3 minutes ago. And me and her, when she got off work, we were going to Home Depot to pick up all the materials for the drop ceilings. All the brackets and cross members and support, everything for the drop ceiling, the tile, the insulation, and everything. So I get to go it's about 30 minutes, 35 minutes to the local, to my closest Home Depot. So we're going there, picking up all those supplies. Earlier when I was talking with her, she was supposed to be putting all that in the shopping cart and getting it ready for they were supposed to be getting the order ready. So I hope when I get to Home Depot that she did that. She completed that. Yeah, Patty, I am going to do this, and my thing was mainly that lay stuff because here's the real key to it, Clay. I am not nowhere close to where VDC is. I'm trying to watch and learn and keep up. But I'm not there yet. I'm by far a long ways away from catching all those trends. So the thing is, hey Cheese, I appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you being here. And generally, a lot of times, so let me get back to saying this, Clay. I'm nowhere near where VDC is. So I'm trying to find something for the very short, near future, like in the next few days before Friday, like either tomorrow or Thursday. I'm thinking about shooting out and going to my local casino in the daytime because over the past month or so, I've been to about 4 different ones, but I've been going on Saturday night when it's crowded, super crowded. Can't hardly roll, you can't hardly get to a table. The dealer's sweating me. The dealer was sweating me Saturday night. They would pass me, not the dealer, but the pit boss. Man, he passed me the dice, and I'm trying to set the dice. That's my normal setup right there. And 3. All right. He started sweating. He started telling me, come on now, you ain't got but 8 seconds. You got to get that. You got to speed it up a little bit. I'm like, what? For real? You gonna sweat me about me taking too long? But yet, other people at the dice table, when they pass them the dice, they sitting here rolling them into the wall like this, beside themselves, until they see what they like. And then they get them and sling them. And they might roll them 5 or 6, 7 times right here on the wall. Ain't nobody said nothing to them folks about doing that kind of crap. But yet, I'm sitting here trying to get them just like I want them. This right here, pick them up and shoot them, and they telling me, you taking too long. They telling me, you taking too long on the dice. They telling me I'm taking too long. But anyway, I'm thinking about going back in the weekday when it ain't so crowded. Alright, so Midnight Madness. Okay, so you're asking what's the lay the lost or the last number? No, he's saying laying the lost number. Yep, Midnight Madness. They didn't have nothing to be scared of. They was sweating me. They got, look, man, I swear, all I needed was a 2 to hit the small. I needed an 8 and 11 to hit the tall. But before I ever even got that deep in it, I'm talking about after like my 4th or 5th roll, he started telling me I was taking too long. You're taking too long. You're taking too long. You got to speed up. You ain't got but 8 seconds. I wasn't taking over 8 seconds. That is not 8 seconds. I was not taking no longer than what I'm doing right there. I was not taking over 8 seconds. And he still started telling me, you're taking too long. But he didn't have no reason to be scared. I mean, you know, I don't know what his deal was. Yeah, I should have. You're right. I should have cashed out. That's what I'm going to tell him next time. And that casino, you know, like I said, dude down here on this end, he was grabbing them because he was shooting from right here. He was like an SR2. Wasn't in the hook, but he wasn't at SR1. His wife was sitting at SR1 on the stool. She wasn't even playing. She was taking up a seat at the table and wasn't even playing. There was players in line ready to play. I stood there for an hour to get to the table, and this lady sat at the table. They would not make her move. Her husband was shooting from here, but he had a few chips in front of her. But she was never betting nothing. She wasn't shooting dice or nothing. They never made her move and give that spot up. And he sat right here every time he got the dice. He was there from when I walked to the table, and I stayed at the table until I left. He was still there. And every time he got the dice, he was doing this number right here. 5 or 6 or 7 times. He would pick these dice up until he liked them, and then he'd throw them. They never said not one word to him about time. They never said one word to her about sitting in a spot while other folks is waiting to get to the table. And told me, we got an 8-second rule because I'm picking the dice up when they slide them to me. As soon as they slide them to me, I'm grabbing them, I'm setting them, and I'm getting my grip ready. Getting my swing ready, and I'm releasing. Every row, that quick. Every row, that quick. They're going to tell me, you're taking too long. Anyway, it frustrated me. That was on about my 3rd time to get the dice. And I had probably rolled 3 or 4 or 5 shots at that point, and the dice was getting real comfortable. I felt like I was starting to get into the groove. I mean, the first couple times I was rolling, I didn't feel like I was getting in the groove that good. And on that particular throw, I felt like I was starting to get in the groove. Dude said, taking too long. So guess what I did? I started rushing my throw. I started rushing it. They pass them to me, and I start trying to pick them up and set them quick. You know, I'm just trying to pick them up quick. Trying to pick them up quicker. Let them go too quick. I started rushing it. I swear I did. That's on my whole life. I swear I did. I started rushing it. And guess what? It wasn't long to set them out. And I hung around at the table, and I quit playing everybody. I wait till my next roll. Sam, my pit boss over there, looking at me. Yeah, they got to me. They did mess me up too. Yeah, I probably should have slowed down. What was they going to do? Quit passing me the dice? I guess you're right. Next time they do that crap, I'm gonna have something else up my sleeve instead of speeding up. I'm gonna drop them another tip or something. Slow down. Tell them 426, 459. You know, instead of they got to, no doubt. But it's just basically I want to try to figure something else out on that lay stuff because it's been in my mind. How does it work? How does it work? How does it work? So I thought I had this wrote out, but apparently I ain't have it wrote out right because when I tried it live, my numbers come up different than what I had it wrote out for. I had everything wrote out how much you got to re-ante every time, but I didn't have the total profits figured out right. So after level 5, you would have profit 51, and after level 6, a 7 after going to level 6, you would profit 36. I didn't go up to level 7, but I guess my wife's probably home now. She sent me a text message about 15 minutes ago, no, about 20 minutes ago, and said she's closing in 5 minutes. She'll be leaving in 5 minutes, and that was 14 minutes ago. So she's probably home. So I probably better go, and I will be go take care of getting all that lumber and materials. Not really lumber, but drop ceilings materials. Yeah, Clay. I'm definitely working on the strategies. I'm definitely working on the trends. Like I said, I've got papers on it. I've got my rows. I've got them tracked. Every time I roll, I write these rows out. And I see them as I'm writing them out. I see some of the trends, and I've even got the printout that he sent us the other day with all the definitions on it, or not definitions, but all the stuff he typed out. So I've got all that. Be studying on this stuff. It just ain't enough time in a day. I swear it ain't. It ain't enough time in a day. I think I could stay out here at this top dice table 24/7. It ain't enough time in a day to try to work full time at a job, try to work like full time maintenance person, carpenter, electrician, and plumber for and landscaping yard man, and my wife's daycare, and my hobbies. She calls it addiction. I take a lot of heat on that, just like I did from the casino guy. Hey, Midnight Madness, I appreciate you hanging out. Clay, I appreciate you hanging out. Patty, I appreciate you hanging out. The Cheese, I appreciate you hanging out. Anybody and everybody else out there that joined in today, I appreciate y'all hanging out. I will do this again, but I got to get back out here. I got to get out here and go get these supplies, and I'll be back on later. So, on that note, I appreciate y'all watching, everybody that's out there. I think I might have figured out what was happening with my stream. Just let me ask anybody that's still out there. Is my stream better today, or is it no change? Has it been like it has been? Or anybody that's been tuning in with me lately, is today's stream better? If anybody's still out there. Because I changed the bit rate. Last night I streamed for an hour and 10 minutes, maybe, hour and 5. I had 97,000 dropped frames. Today I've been on here live for 3 hours and 3 minutes. I've dropped 378 frames. So Midnight Madness, is it as good or is it the same? Is all I'm asking. Is it like previously the past few nights in the past week or whatever? Has it been choppy and video and the frames been dropping and been freezing and things like that? And today is it clear and smoother, or is it no noticeable difference? Because been better this time. Okay. Yeah, I think because see, like down here on my OBS, it's got the box that's got 4 different colors. It's like a green, and it'll go all the way to red in different shades. It'll go green and yellow and lighter green and darker green. It's smoother. So today I changed the bit rate, and I think that changed a lot of stuff. Didn't see any hang-ups. All right, appreciate it, Cheese. All right, Midnight Madness. All right, Patty, I appreciate it. So yeah, so I think I figured out what was causing it, because I got the internet guys out here last week to put a whole new router in. They up my ASP up. IS Internet Provider service updated. I upgraded my service to 250 download and 10 upload, which ain't just super fast, but it's a lot better than what I had. Only had 30 download speed Mbps's, megabytes per second, and only had 3 upload speeds. So I got it changed. I got it changed to go to 250 on the download and 10 upload. So 10 ain't that much, ain't great, ain't super fast, but it's a lot faster than what I had. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I will be back later on tonight. Hopefully, once I can go get all this materials and get it put in, and then I will be actually come back tonight to do a live practice session. Today was more about trying to figure something out and get y'all's help and input on all this stuff. There's a 314. So there's an on-axis secondary hit. Alright guys, on that note, I am out this time, so Chili from O-Town, and I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will catch up with you guys later. Yep. Thank you guys. Yeah, it was very slow, Midnight Madness. 30 megabytes per second download and only 3 megabytes per second upload. It was taking me forever. But now I've got 250 megabytes per second download with 10 upload. Alright guys, Chili from O-Town.